Hey, before we start today's episode, I wanted to let everyone know that this episode is brought to you by HelloFresh. HelloFresh is your one-stop meal prep solution with ready-made meals sent fresh to your door. With easy-to-follow recipes and high-quality ingredients, HelloFresh is there to solve that age-old question of what the heck am I eating for dinner tonight? Get started today with 16 free meals. That's 16 free meals, baby, plus 3 surprise gifts across 6 boxes. All you have to do is just use my promo code POGSE5146. It's POGSE5146 all together. That's POGSE5146. Punch that in. It's a hell of a deal. You don't want to pass it up. All the info, the promo code, and link to the deal is in the description for this podcast. So just go there, click the link, make sure to punch in that code, which is POGSE5146, and bam, dinner served. Thanks again to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's episode. And now, on to the show.
I'm excited for Moon Knight tonight.
Are you?
Yeah, that last one was actually really, really good.
Did you like that they actually still make the character Jewish?
Yes, I was going to say that. I was like, oh, I'm so happy he's still Jewish. Like, they instead of just making him like racially ambiguous, they made him whatever. I think Oscar Isaac is Guatemalan, so they made him like, I think that's right. But like, you can tell his mom was definitely of some sort of Central or Southern American descent, and then his dad was just very Jewish.
Yeah.
So I did like that.
As soon as that happened on screen, I was like, "Oh man, Ryan's gonna actually like this." Like,
I did that when his dad showed up and he was wearing the yarmulke. I was like, "Yeah, thank you for not doing it again like you did with Pietro and Wanda."
Yeah,
of course, I understand why they did with Pietro and Wanda, because without the tie to Magneto,
right, which is,
and they made him Sokovian instead, which, you know, a lot of Eastern Europe is Jewish. You could just say that, yeah, sure, they're Sokovian Jews. You just don't know about it.
Yeah, they're just their own like thing, I guess.
In my head, they are.
Yeah. I mean, they it would be really hard to have Magneto without that background.
Oh, yeah,
so.
they straight up said, like, people have been wondering, like, if they do bring the fucking X-Men in and you bring in Magneto, like, oh, well, you can't make him Jewish. You got to make him something else, and blah, blah, blah. And people at Marvel I've even been like, nope, no. Magneto should always be tied to the Holocaust.
Right.
Because the minute you take that out, then we're forgetting about it. And I was like, hell yeah. So you can easily just make it like a time, jump through time because of the multiverse, or his mutant power makes him age differently. You know, there's a million ways to do it. Just keep it that. Eric Lencher should always be Eric Lencher. I
have a feeling that we're gonna like figure all that out in the next
in 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday. I mean, today.
Oh yeah, totally. Today we now know.
Yeah, definitely have seen that movie because I
was gonna say, did you see it last night?
for Thursday. Actually, I have a ticket for Thursday at 3 p.m. So
oh man, oh my gosh, I think that's the same time I'll be seeing it, because I'll be seeing it at 6.
Yeah, then are you in the East Coast?
Yeah.
Time? You're not Central Time?
No. So all of Indiana is Eastern Time, except for like 5 counties in Southern Indiana, and then Gary, Indiana, because they're basically Chicago.
Oh, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Paris, France, New York, or Rome.
Not at all.
Or Gary, Indiana. Do you even know what I'm talking about right now? It's a fucking Music Man, you uncultured swine.
Oh man, I haven't.
Gary, Indiana, my home, sweet home. Isn't Gary, Indiana like the murder capital of America?
It is. It is a very. Yeah. Not only that, it's like poisonous to live there. Like the whole ground is lead.
Cool.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I know. There's an entire song in the musical The Music Man about how Gary, Indiana is great. But of course, the point of that is that he's lying and has never even been to Gary, Indiana. So that makes it even funnier. Gary, Indiana is a shithole.
There's somebody that we know that was moving there on a job. They were on an apartment, like, you know, a tour of an apartment to be like, oh yeah, I want to move here or whatever. A bullet went through their wall while they were doing it, and they said, nope, I'm done, and quit their job immediately.
Amazing. Yeah. Can we say who that person is, or do we need to keep them?
They're a friend of my wife. So, or maybe
All right, just for me. Wait, do I know this person?
No, you don't know this person.
Well, why would you say we know this person? I don't know this person.
Oh, I always use the royal we.
No, fuck that. The only royalty here is me. You know why?
Why?
Because I have more trophies than you. Welcome, friends, to I Have More Trophies Than You, episode number
23?
20?
No, 22, right? I think it's 22.
You're the worst producer we've ever had. You're the only producer we've had, so I guess that works.
That's true.
Hold on.
I'm pretty sure it's 22 though, because you get wait, yeah, because I do the even ones. I choose on the odd ones.
All episodes. Remember when we was 21. Okay, hold on. Start over. All right.
We're back in it.
Welcome, friends, to I Have More Trophies Than You. Oh, shit. I said it twice. Does that end the episode?
Oh, shit.
No, I did say rewind.
That's the caveat, yeah.
I did say rewind.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
You didn't hear the first one. It never happened, right?
If you say rewind, it doesn't count. Anyway, welcome to that podcast that I already said already. This is a video game podcast about video games and the different ways that people play them. I am your host, Dr. Ryan, who is, because of my friends' bullshit in making me play a long, boring game, now only the 84th best gamer in North America. I lost the place because I had to spend much fucking time on this game.
You did spend a lot of time on this game. I spent a lot of you know what?
Introduce yourself.
I'm the other host that fucked everything up. I'm Chris.
No, it's not funny if you don't fight back.
No,
then it just seems like I'm bullying you. That's what you do. Like, I'm over here being like, fuck you, and you're just like, I'm so sorry, and now everyone's just like, Ryan's a piece of shit.
No, I felt so bad because, like, they've integrated Discord into the PS5 now, and you can see, like, when somebody's playing on the PS5 on Discord now.
Yeah.
And all, like, last week, it was just Doc Ryan, Dark Cloud, and I was like, oh no. He's still playing. Like, I figured both of us would have been done with this game like way sooner than we were, but I had a great time with it.
I didn't. Before we get into it, we have some normal stuff that we can do, but really quickly before we get all of that, I did want to double back to Marvel. It's Marvel time, baby.
Oh yeah, Marvel Minute, let's go.
So yeah, Marvel Minute.
I'm so stoked.
Like Inside Baseball, of course, as you know, it's not really Friday right now.
Right.
So here's what I want to talk about on the Marvel Minute. How are you going to spend the next couple days avoiding the spoilers?
Oh my god, I've already been spoiled.
Have you? I've stayed away. Don't say anything. What happened? How did it happen to you?
Because there was a character's name trending on Twitter that doesn't typically trend. And so I clicked it because I like that character. And they were like, oh, this is confirmed, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? And it was like Sunday.
Now I know that there's going to be a character in the movie that I don't know, which is, in a way, you've just spoiled something for me.
It's one of those things. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I was gonna say it's mostly just like it's one of those things where I'm not super spoiled. It's just
it would have been cool to see someone show up.
No, it's more of it would have just been fun to experience like that theory being either bunked or revealed. Like, and that was my only complaint. But at the same time, most of the time when I get spoiled with Marvel stuff, I'm still super excited because they tend to pull it off. So I don't really get too upset. Like Thor's hammer in Endgame, that was spoiled for me. Like I was working at a comic store and like someone dead ass walked up the week before it came out and they were like, oh, hey, Captain America wields Thor's hammer in this and he goes to Avengers Assemble. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me this? Like, why would you do that?
People who spoil things early are bullshit. What's even worse than that, just blatantly going, are the people that like have seen something before somebody else and try to spoil things on purpose as like a fuck you. Yeah. Case in point, I still remember when Lost was ending, I was in a Skype call with some friends. I'm pretty sure Frank was there. It was like people in that friend group, and this other guy that I don't like but had known them came in. We were talking. He was being stupid. We were making fun of him, and just had I was just clowning on him. And I think it was Frank who hadn't seen the episode yet. This was the final season. Spoilers for Lost coming up, where this was right after the episode where Sun and Jin died on the submarine.
Mm-hmm.
And like Frank had been talking about, I think it was Frank had been talking about.
I know who those characters are.
Sun and Jin are the two Korean, the couple that one of them doesn't speak English and one of them does. But you think that both of them don't speak English, and it turns out that Sun, who is the wife, does, and then it's like a whole big thing. Like, whoa, where'd you learn English? Did you ever watch Lost?
Nope.
It's good. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that they die in an episode in the finale. Right. Not the finale, but the final
like
season.
the final stuff, yeah.
And Frank had been talking about, I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it later. And so we've been clowning on this guy because he was a piece of shit. And his response to get back at Frank was, fuck you, Sun and Jin die in this episode. And then he hung up, and I was just like, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, what an asshole move. Like, you are a 100% dick doing that. There's a special place in hell for all those kind of people. Like,
fuck that guy. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm still super excited. Like, I can't wait for Doctor Strange. I'm super excited for Moon Knight tomorrow too, because it's just like those last couple episodes.
Tomorrow, I'm fucking really staying up till midnight. I'm staying up till midnight, dog.
There's no way I can do that tonight.
Why not? Oh, because you would have to wait till 3:00 in the morning.
3 a.m. Yeah.
For me, it's in 3 hours and 44 minutes.
Oh my god.
So welcome to a 3 hour and 44 minute episode of this podcast. I can waste time until it comes out. I'm excited. Marvel is cool. Marvel is great. Speaking of Marvel, DC also great. You watched The Batman.
I did.
What do you think of Batman?
I really liked it.
Yeah,
I thought it was a really good Batman. I think this, and here's where we're gonna start having a different opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that this is
the best Batman,
the best iteration of a live action Batman we've ever had.
It's the best Batman movie. I agree. It's the best comic book. It's the best comic book adaptation of Batman.
It really is. Like,
I still think The Dark Knight is still a better action movie. But this is a better Batman movie.
I mean, sure, but that's arguing like two totally separate things.
Yeah, but
because it's like it could be an action movie, but this isn't an action movie at all. So it's like hard to. Those are apples and oranges.
Yes, but what I mean by that is when fucking The Dark Knight came out, everyone always said, the thing I heard was like it was Heat with a superhero. Mm-hmm. This is sort of like, this is Seven or Zodiac with a superhero,
right? And
so it's that different type of movie. I still think it's the better, like, if you're looking for what the detective comic Batman is, it's this.
But
if you ask me, hey, do you want to watch a movie right now, and you put those two in front of me, I still would probably pick Dark Knight because it's like the more action packed, like,
oh yeah, sure, it's way punchier. Like,
that's all I mean is that Wait, hold on, I'm gonna sneeze really quick. Hold on. Fucker. I muted my mic so you wouldn't hear it, and when you asked me that, it immediately stopped.
That's funny. Yeah.
I just mean that, yes, this is the best Batman, but like, I think if you ask me what is my favorite,
right,
it's still gonna be Dark Knight, but this is the best.
Yeah. My biggest gripe is that it is a 3 hour long movie, and it really doesn't need to be that way. It felt like
I disagree. I never felt I didn't even realize it was 3 hours until it was over.
Really?
It never lost me. It never felt like it was going slow. I was there for the whole slow burn thing of like, this is a noir gritty history, and it never dipped. It's just that now that I've seen it, I don't think it has as much rewatchability as the Dark. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it really lost me either. It was just one of those things where it kind of felt like I had to set a lot of time aside to make for it, right? Because normally if I'm going to sit down and watch a movie, I'm not planning to spend the whole night just watching that single movie, right? But no, I thought it was great beginning to end. I really like that it was a year 2 Batman, so it was like you could still have him fucking up and being new to this, but
a little piece of shit. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, but he's like getting it right? He's figuring it out. He kind of is getting more confident about being Batman. That's why we kind of see him wrestling with the idea of letting go of Wayne Enterprises. He's like, oh, they don't need me. We could fake my death. And it's like, and then Alfred's like, no, you really shouldn't do that. You should really figure out how you can do both. Like, you need to keep up appearances and be a part of this, because being Batman isn't the only thing in your life. You've got more to live for. And it's like, oh man, this is great. Like, I wasn't expecting, oh God, what's his, is it, fucking,
Andy Serkis?
Yeah, Andy Serkis. Like, he was a pretty good Alfred. Like,
Yeah, it was really good Alfred.
I really wasn't expecting that, especially when he was announced to be Alfred. I kind of scoffed at the idea, but no, he killed it. He was great. Like, everyone in that movie was great.
He works really good as, like, all the other Alfreds have been old men that are just there to, like, support him, and he has to get things from outside that. This is the first Alfred is like, I believed that this Alfred was also, like, Thomas Wayne's fucking bodyguard. Right. And he's the one teaching Bruce, like, fucking, you know, hand-to-hand
stuff. Yeah.
SIS or whatever the fucking British Secret Service is called, techniques. So like he worked as like a more like a rough and tumble. That's why he was a Cockney one compared to all the other Alfreds who have all been well, I guess Michael Caine's Cockney as fuck too, but that's different. Cockney is fine. Like in the last DC ones where it was Ben Affleck and Jeremy. I love Jeremy Irons. Great actor. Amazing in many things, including I just rewatched Die Hard with a Vengeance. What a great movie. But his Alfred was just kind of there, and it wasn't anything special. Like, this was a good Alfred. It was a good Batman. The Bruce Wayne being like a nerdy little dork. I can't wait to see how Robert Pattinson does it later in later movies where he has to play suave, debonair, and brooding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's still kind of young. Like, what other?
Yeah, I'm saying like, I can't wait because that dichotomy, and I get why it wasn't in here. Mm-hmm. And then what's the dude who played Commissioner Gordon? What's that guy's name? I'm forgetting his name.
Oh my God, I don't know, but he was fucking great.
The dude from Westworld.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I'm gonna look it up. Let's see.
Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright. He was great. I do think I prefer Gary Oldman just a little bit more.
Sure.
But he was still, like he is a very, very, very close second to me.
Oh yeah, as soon as he appeared on screen too, I was like, man, he's a really fucking good Jim Gordon.
He's a good Jim Gordon.
I was really surprised from moment to moment in this movie, just because I really didn't know what to expect. I really didn't like those Nolan films. So, and then of course,
really?
I'm not a big fan. I like Batman Begins.
I love all three of them.
I feel like Batman Begins is a Batman movie because, like, at least he does detective work in that movie, and he's like on the streets doing stuff.
He does detective work in The Dark Knight. He doesn't really do it in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, for sure.
You're right, not as much, but he does way more in this. But also, this brought back my favorite thing, which is I think that as much as I love, like, the Riddler and Two-Face are my favorite villains of comic book, but my actual favorite villain for Batman to fight is just the Mob. Yeah, I love it when it's just Batman gangsters, and I thought John Turturro did such a good fucking job as Falcone.
Yeah, as soon as they were like, oh hey, here's Falcone, and then of course having Cobblepot in there being fucking Penguin shit, like it was fun to have. I don't know if it needed to be Colin Farrell. Like there are people that
I thought he was good though. I honestly, like, halfway through I forgot that it was Colin Farrell.
Yeah, like I was kind of like taken. I was kind of blindsided by it because I didn't buy into it at first, and then like you said, it was halfway through the movie I was like, oh man, like he's really doing it. I do kind of wish he had the pipe, but like, you know, whatever.
Yeah. What'd you think of Zoe Kravitz? I think she did okay.
She was great.
I didn't hate it. I also just kind of was like, she's fine.
I'm just like I was stoked that it looked like Selena Kyle from when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
It's just not like pretty, you know, little white girl running around. Like, it was fun to have like someone who looked like a mixed race, you know.
I just thought, once again though, maybe this is the year 2 thing. I thought she was just a little too like whatever. Like I like Selena Kyle when she's more just kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I mean
that's why I like The Dark Knight Rises, Selena Kyle.
Here's the thing.
She was just like, listen, I'm just here to steal. I don't give a shit about anything. I'm just here to steal. I like that. So
I was really glad the way that they portrayed their relationship, because she always had the power in the relationship in this movie. Like it wasn't him. So it was like
it's nerdy little Batman.
Yeah.
Like, that girl likes me.
But it was great because, like, you know, it just feels more true to that character. Everything about this movie is more true to the representation of the characters that I like. Because I think that's one thing about this movie that why I think it is so good is because it feels like I'm reading Detective Comics. It's not, you know, Batman and
100%.
Robin, whatever version, because there are so many different iterations of Batman. There's super campy, there's super action, there's super detective. Like, I love the detective side, and I can't believe that we got a full movie that was a slow burn to where you kind of have to like piece together everything as it's going along. Now, I don't like how, like, the Riddler was great and he was awesome throughout the movie.
Making the Riddler the Zodiac Killer was really cool.
I didn't like how he looked though. That was my only complaint.
Like how Paul Dano looked, or how like
I hate it, like the masked up, like weird.
I like them. What did you want? The fucking spandex and the question marks? That wasn't gonna work for this. That wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, for sure, it wasn't gonna work for this. But I like it's kind of. There's another scene in the movie in which will relate back to this. It's whenever he uses like the like flying squirrel suit to like dive off the building and like fly through Gotham, you know?
Yeah.
It's the thing is that we're already buying into this idea of Batman. Like, we already buy that this billionaire is running around in a bat suit. Like, just have him throw the wings out and jump off the building. Like, I'm buying into that already. You don't have to ground it into like, well, this isn't realistic. Let's put him in this suit. He'll
I like it. I like that it was realistic. I like that it was realistic because if you start saying, well, now we can do this, that's how you end up at Batman and Robin. If you keep yourself grounded, it stops you from getting there. So I disagree with you on that.
I don't think it would have taken too much away from it, is my point.
I disagree. I think that the most important thing to me in a movie is when you make your rules, you stick to them. They made rules, they stuck to them.
Oh yeah,
and I commend them for
that. And admittedly, sure, that makes sense. I totally get your point, but like that's kind of where I was though. I was like, I wouldn't have minded if they did that, but in that same way, if the Riddler, I just think like just a subtle nod to like the bowler hat or something, you know, just
he had a big question mark on his back. That's good enough. He fucking strangled people to death with fucking saran wrap and then left codes, and he did the cool clues, and then he just turned out to be my favorite part of that movie is when they find his thing where it's him live streaming. It's like, hey guys, it's me, the Riddler. How's it? How you doing? Make sure to buy a good gun and show up here. It was like, he's a fucking dork he's an anti-social dork. I loved it.
He's just a big incel. Like,
what's it? Well,
basically, like that was like as soon as they started doing all that, I was like, oh, I get like exactly where they're coming from for this movie. I get it.
Maybe this is just me. I hate the fucking term incel because I feel like
it's a bad term, but like
people use it to like immediately be like, you don't have sex. And it's like, to me, this is my logic. It's a fucking Riddler. Who cares if he's having sex with a lady? His whole thing is that he's just fucked in the brain. Well, and he's like, society needs to burn. And then your immediate thought is, you don't have sex with women.
No. Because see, I don't see it as that. I use it more as a term as like, you're a fucking loser who sits on 4chan and complains about your life and everything, but you're not going to do anything about it.
I'm a fucking internet loser.
Oh, but those are like, they're like the same thing.
And they're not. That's where my favorite term used to be calling people simps because it meant simpleton. It meant you were stupid. And now a simp means that you're horny for ladies on the internet. It's like, this is the shit. This is when you fucking twist words.
He was a simp.
No, because there were no ladies involved. And he wasn't dumb. He was very smart. You know what he was? He was a fucking burnout trenchcoat mafia loser is what you should be called.
Yeah, I really love the movie though.
I don't know why. I get really hung up on dumb shit like that of like, that's not what that word means. You can't just change words because you want to.
But Ryan, I hate to bring this up, but that's how words work. They just change over time.
No, words have meaning, and you don't get to decide them. I gave this movie 5 stars on Letterboxd, and I stand by that.
Yeah, I Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really loved it. I don't know what I would rate it, but I really liked it. I think I gotta watch it again, just because. I don't know. I guess I was just like not ready to like it, and then as it went through and just kept going, and I was like, oh no, I'm actually enjoying this. I think I want to watch it again, just knowing I'm gonna enjoy it.
I've only watched 7 new movies this year. If you include the ninth annual On Cinema at the Cinema Oscar special is one of them, and I've given 5 of them 5 stars.
Holy shit!
One of them 4 stars and one of them 3 stars. You know what my lowest rated movie of the year is?
Don't even say Sonic, because that was 10 out of 10.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh, that movie's so good though.
The worst movie of 2022 so far. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I don't know. I just really haven't gone out to the movies much, but
yeah, there really hasn't been too much this year, I guess.
So far, what I've seen is Jackass Forever, Uncharted, Batman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, the 9th annual On Cinema Oscar special, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and The Northman. Those have been the movies I've seen in theaters.
Yeah. How was The Northman?
Oh, it was very, very good. Do you like Conan the Barbarian?
I'm indifferent, I guess. I don't really care.
You want to just watch a very artful film of a big, giant, nude Swedish man murdering people?
It could be cool. It could be fun.
Yeah. Do you want to watch what I termed Midsummer for guys? I don't know why
That's weird.
It's nothing like Midsummer. It's just that it's shot the same way, and it also takes place in because Midsummer takes place in, I want to say, Sweden or Norway or something like that.
Yeah, it's one of those like.
And so does this. Yeah, it's a Nordic country. Yeah. And so literally the plot is that this kid who is the son of the king of some Viking town sees his uncle kill his dad, and then he runs away and says, I'm going to come back for revenge one day, and then he does. It's cool.
I remember the only thing I know about that movie.
A lot of fucking just people getting dismembered, and then there's a lot of bare ass of both men and women. Just a lot of ass.
We love a good ass here. No, like the only thing I know about that movie is they printed a bunch of like the huge like banners for movie theaters, and they forgot to print the title of the movie on it. So it's just a bunch of dudes standing there, and then like all the like little credits, but it never says The Northman.
Even better. I don't know. I really liked it. I think my favorite movie so far this whole year is definitely Jackass Forever.
Yeah.
But like, if you're not counting that, like artistic wise, the movie that I've seen so far this year that I would want to like win the Oscar is probably either Everything Everywhere All at Once or The Northman.
Speaking of Jackass, did you see that they're making another series?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm curious. Like, I can't wait to see how that plays out. I wonder if it's going to be mostly just the new people. I think so.
And then like a couple of like, there'll be an episode where Steve-O bombs in or whatever. But like, if the new cast is that Poopies guy, I think her name was like Rachel, that
Rachel
dude
Wolfson.
And his dad.
Oh my God.
Jasper.
What was his name?
Jasper
like Dark Star or something? Dark Shark. That's
and
it.
I think his son's name was Jasper.
Yeah, Jasper.
And then there was another dude, and then there was the big fat guy.
Yeah. Zach Ass.
Yeah. And then there was another guy, and it's like, and then just get people. And just the thing is, like, maybe with that they can start going out in public again, because even though Jackass Forever, a lot of people saw it, it's like most people are not going to remember the new people. Right. So maybe you can get back to doing things in public with like fucking
people that aren't as much of the face of the franchise anymore. Yeah.
Maybe not the Zach Ass guy because he's got a big giant jackass tattoo, but
I don't know. He's kind of just, I mean, he looks like anybody in the Midwest here.
Yeah, I guess. But you could have that Poopies guy or Rachel. I think her name is Rachel Wolfson.
Yeah.
Like go out, or you could have Jasper and Dark Shark just show up somewhere. So I'm excited to see where it goes. This is a video game podcast.
Yeah. I've played some video games.
I bought some video games.
What'd you buy?
Welcome to. Did we have a name for this segment where it's what I bought since the last episode?
I think we did. It was like Ryan's magical bag of what he bought this weekend.
It's definitely not called the magical bag.
That's what we're calling it now. It's Ryan's magical bag of games.
It's called Ryan's ever-growing backlog. That's the name of this podcast.
There we go.
Podcast.
That's a good one.
Okay, so my box with every single Lego Dimensions character did show up. I've been playing that.
Oh yeah, we never like updated if you actually got that or not. So I'm stoked that you got it.
It did come in. I'll talk about it when I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I got today my copy of Sifu came in for the PS5.
Oh, sick.
So I'm waiting till they put in the easy mode. I picked up a copy on PS3 of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Never played that. 2 games came in finally from Limited Run that I've been waiting over a fucking year for.
Oh my god.
And that's the Castlevania Anniversary Collection and Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Right on.
At the local Goodwill, I did find a copy of Disney Sing It Party Hits, including songs from Ashley Tisdale, Camp Rock 2 Final Jam, the Jonas Brothers, Justin Bieber, and Paramore. Oh, this is Owl City Fireflies on it.
Oh no.
Cannot believe my eyes that I've got a game with fireflies.
You have to stream it. You have to stream that game and then make that the last song of the night.
And then a game that I got that I'm very excited to talk about when I play it, because I got sold on this by my friend Garrett. Some game called Tormented Souls.
Okay.
Which apparently is an indie like throwback to Resident Evil 2. The reason that I got sold on it is I was told very simply it's full of puzzles.
Oh, okay. Right on.
So I'm definitely going to be playing that soon, and we will talk about it. Probably not a full episode, but like I definitely just want to shout it out. Also, in the retro sphere, since last episode, I was able to procure a complete in-box copy of Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Pristine.
I saw that on Twitter. That fucking when you posted that picture, I couldn't believe how clean it looked.
I got Super Princess Peach for the Nintendo DS, which I used to own but can't find. I must have accidentally like loaned it to a friend and got rid of it. I also bought 2 empty boxes because I thought I had the games for them, but it turns out I only have the games for one. So I bought the box and manuals and everything to Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, so I can put my copy in it.
Oh shit!
And then I also bought a copy of The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening DX.
Okay.
For the Game Boy Color, like the manual and everything, it's pristine. It's so good.
Holy shit!
And then when I went to put my copy in it, I was like, "Oh, that's right. I have Link's Awakening, not Link's Awakening DX." So now I'm on the hunt. Now I'm on the hunt for a copy of Link's Awakening DX.
And another box of just Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
That rules.
my goal, my long-term goal when it comes to retro collecting now is I want I own every Zelda game. Now I want to get all the boxes.
That's a cool idea. I had a dream once to get all the like Sonic games, but there's so fucking many of them, and like I really if I got all the boxes, I would want all the Japanese boxes too, and then all the European boxes, and it's just
no. You can just do one. But the thing is,
have you seen the Japanese boxes? They're so good looking.
I feel like Sonic's gonna be a little bit like
they're
it's easier to get Sega boxes than it is Super Nintendo boxes because the Sega clamshell, it was like, well, you keep this and you put your game in it.
Right.
Whereas with the cardboard, it's like, well, yeah, I got thrown away.
Yeah.
I had a box that was full of just boxes and manuals when I was a kid, and my parents, no fault of their own, didn't understand, put it in storage, and then eventually no, they didn't throw it away. That storage got broken into.
Oh no.
It's just that they put it in storage.
Yeah.
So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. But no, I don't blame my parents.
Right.
They're just like, oh, this can go in storage. Who cares?
I mean, you'd expect that to be like safe, but
yeah.
I mean, I guess storage units probably get broken into a lot. I was like in my high school days, because that was kind of like the end of the Game Boy Advance. I started saving my Game Boy Advance boxes, so I have a pretty good collection of complete in-box GBA games.
Nice.
But anything before that, like even some of my Genesis games, I think I've only got like my boxes for like Ken Griffey Baseball 95 and like Sonic 1 and 2 and maybe a Tiny Toons game, but like yeah, I've also lost most of my Genesis and PS1 collection from like when I was moving a lot as a kid, because like my parents got divorced, so like I lost half of my possessions basically. So yeah, it was always fun not having all the stuff that I thought I had, and now I'm like going back trying to repiece together those collections. That's one thing when I move out to Oregon. later this year, I want to go up to that fucking store up in Seattle, Pink Gorilla, and I want to just buy like every retro game that I used to own because they have a good fucking selection.
Oh yeah, they do. Tell me when you want to do that. I'll drive up and then we'll drive up together.
Dude.
And we'll fucking raid that place because there's 2 Pink Gorillas in that town plus a couple other stores.
I've already got like a plan for it. Like,
fuck yeah.
I'm so because you got me hooked to watching that stream now. Like that's what I do at night, and it's like it's so relaxing. Yeah,
it's a very good stream. He just fixes video games, talks about video games. I like when he just shows off video games, and then sometimes I buy video games. I
love watching him repair stuff because I feel like I'm learning how to repair my own shit through it. So I'm like, oh man, this rules. So it's thank you for turning me on to that. But yeah, I've also got, I know another friend of mine who has a huge, like, if there's ever a super rare game that we needed to play for the show, that's the guy to hit up because he's just got like every single game for like the PS2, the PS3, the PS4, like Nintendo 64s, NES, Super NES. It's insane, his collection. His name's Zach, and he also had talked about them a bunch.
The big fat guy from Jackass?
Zach. I'm friends with Zackass. Did you know?
Oh,
yeah, we used to do stunts. He jumped out of my treehouse once when we were a kid, and he jumped on his arm specifically so he could break it and get a cast.
Is that true?
That is a true story, but not about Zackass. It was about somebody else that I knew when I was a kid.
Is it the friend that you're talking about?
No, it's a different guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why did that guy do that?
Because he wanted a cast. Because casts were cool when you were a kid. Because everyone at school would care about you because you broke your arm, and then everyone would sign it.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Kids are dumb.
Kids are dumb. So, man, I need to buy so many. I'm on such a retro game kick right now, especially because of the game we just played. But
I did try, even though I hated this game, I will admit I did try to go and find a copy at like a local used game store just to own it because I was like, fuck this, it's going to my wall. Could not find it. Don't know if it's rare or I don't know much about it.
I've got a greatest hits version of it somewhere, but I looked at my wall and I didn't see it.
Greatest hits, that's like saying that you suck because great garbage.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think I bought it that way. I have a regular version of Dark Cloud 2, but I'm missing the box and manual. I just have the disc.
Speaking of Player's Choice, I have a couple Player's Choice games on the GameCube, and one of them is Luigi's Mansion. And speaking of Luigi's Mansion, I got to go to an event this weekend with my family and my nephew where this guy that my dad knows was having like a customer appreciation day. And so he rented out the local family fun center and made everything free. So I sat there with my dad for like 45 minutes and beat the Luigi's Mansion arcade game. That game's not good, man. That game's not good. No, it's so like all you do is a ghost shows up, you flash it with your light, and then you suck it up. But the problem is they make it so like annoyingly like boring to do so that you constantly get hit so you'll feed in more money.
Right.
Like there's 3 levels and after the first one is like, oh, I get it. They don't really add anything new.
I've only played it a couple of times and every time it was in Japan. So like,
I'm glad I got to play it for the price of free. I don't think I'll ever play it again for the rest of my life. I would own one though, just because the art on the like the inside and the outside is dope.
Yeah. What are your top 3 arcade games? What are your go-tos?
Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, Sunset Riders, and probably DDR.
That's a good choice. DDR is a good choice.
I feel like those are 3 really good, and they're all different. It's like, do I want to play a cooperative shooter? Do I want to play competitive fighter? And do I want to just fucking dance?
Yeah, I feel that. I was a huge DDR nerd in like high school and stuff. One of my friends is like super good at that game still. I probably could still do like heavy step charts, but nothing too extreme.
I used to know like the eras for Butterfly by Heart, but it's been a while.
Did you play on heavy?
No, I played on normal. I'm not gonna.
Okay. I
think I only passed like a couple heavy tracks like once, but I was never that good.
Yeah, like back in high school, that's all we did. Like we'd get out of school. If we didn't have band after school, then it was basically just straight to the pizza joint because they had a In the Groove. I think it was an In the Groove 2 machine.
I hate In the Groove. I don't like that.
It's so much better.
I don't like that they're on the diagonals. It fucked me up.
No. That's Pump It Up.
Oh, Pump It Up.
In the Groove is it is a game by Roxor, and they got sued when they were trying to make their third one by Konami because they were like, you stole our game, which, you know, I guess. But the thing about In the Groove is it just had better timing to everything.
Yeah, but did it have Butterfly?
It technically did, because the thing is it had USB ports on the front. And I think now DDR machines pretty much just have that standard, but it had a USB port, so you could update the system whenever you wanted. So we, you know, the people at the arcade at this pizza shop that we'd go to and play, they didn't care what we did to the machine as long as we upkept it. So we would clean the machine, like fix the pads when they would break and stuff, but then we got to upload custom, you know, step charts and stuff to it and reprogram the machine how we saw fit. So we had like every single DDR ever in that machine. And it was all just on the same thing. So you didn't have to switch profiles or anything. It was just there. And then also, anytime a new chart would come out, because my friend I'm talking about, Tyler, he would make step charts. He still does. And we would just plug in the USB stick and it would have it all there. And then not only that, it would save all your scores to your USB stick. So you could then upload them online and share them on like Bomani styles and stuff like that and all the different like ranking sites. So it was really cool. I really like In the Groove. It's really unfortunate that they got sued out of, you know, a better game, basically.
DDR rules. It's got one of the versions of DDR has Every Time We Touch by Cascada.
DDR had like a rough few years though. Like everything from after Extreme was really bad, and then now like with Ace, it's gotten really good again. But yeah, what were you gonna say? What I'm playing? I've been playing this game called Rogue Tower. Have you heard of this?
Nope.
It's basically just a tower defense game, but
I've never been one for tower defense.
Oh really? Oh man, yeah. I like it just because it's like it's a nice time waster, I guess, you know. But it's kind of like a roguelite. You have some. I don't know. This seems to be a popular thing with roguelite games where it's just like you constantly build a new deck of cards, but it just randomly gives you the cards. So it kind of it's really weird because the more cards you get, then the higher card pool of cards that it can randomly deal out to you. So it's like you shouldn't upgrade everything. You should just find the towers that are the best and just get those towers and don't get any more cards, because otherwise you're going to flood your deck. And if you play trading card games or any kind of game that uses a deck, you will know having too many cards in your deck is a bad thing. So it's really weird. I keep struggling with it if I want to just erase all the data in the game and then just kind of play it the way I would know how to now, or just kind of keep it the way it is, because I've unlocked everything as is, and it's kind of like shooting myself in the foot at the same time, I guess. But
I have a game that I played that is kind of like, it's not at all in the like exactly what you're talking about, but I absolutely kind of agree. It's that same thing of like, oh yeah, I kind of solved this and it keeps going, and if I upgrade more I'll fuck myself, but I had to for trophies. We'll get to it when I get to mine.
Oh yeah. And the only thing is that what's really fun is that the world is constantly being generated. So when you start the first wave, you just have your tower, and if the goblins get there, they do damage and you die. But every time you'll have, if you're playing single path, then you just have the one path, and it'll have the pathway going out, and you'll hit expand, and then it'll drop a card showing like the new path that's been added on to your pre-existing one, and it can keep sprawling out and having it'll have more like branching pathways. Sometimes it'll be 3 pathways that open on one card, so there will be 3 times the monsters that feed into that card on the board, and then we'll follow down to the single lane to get to your tower. So it's kind of like that's where the strategy is, trying to build out this map while not totally fucking yourself by just making more and more lanes. But it's kind of fun. It's like a $10 game on Steam, but and I've sunk like 15 hours into it over the last month maybe, and it's been like a nice little fun time waster. I would highly suggest it if you like, that kind of roguelite, or if you like tower defense games. It is nice to just kind of sit down and play it for 20-30 minutes here and there, but once you kind of crack the code on certain things, it kind of gets a little too easy, to the point of like, oh man, I really wish they would add a little bit more to this game, or just something a little different, because there are some problems with it. Like whenever you would look at a tower stats, it'll cover up like its whole radius, so it's really hard to tell where that tower is actually attacking, and then you also can't see the radius of the tower while you're placing it into the map, which is kind of a pain in the ass. So a lot of times you'll just drop a tower into the map, click on it, kind of figure out where it's shooting, and then you'll just delete it so that you can place it better. I just kind of wish there were some better UI fixes for the game, because it would really go a long way for it. But past that, I think that's probably my biggest gripe with the game. Go check it out. It's a fun little, time wasting game. What have you been playing? What have you played? How many platinums did you get this week?
Welcome to a very truncated, because of some bullshit, or only 16 new platinums to talk about this week. Dropped down to 84th in the country, 573rd in the world. So since last time, a couple quick games to talk about. First one I want to talk about is a game called I Love Food on the PS4 and PS5. This, you would think, oh, it's another shitty game that Ryan played, but I'm going to suggest a game. This game is Puzzle Bobble with platforming.
Okay, I'm into that.
Puzzle Bobble, it's the puzzle part of Puzzle Bobble, so it's not like Bust a Move, where it's like, go forever. It's not score. It's like, here, your job is to clear it, and there's a set path, right? There's 30 levels, but what it is for the first couple levels, it's just Puzzle Bobble, except that there's platforms that you can jump, because you're firing them not from a machine, but you're firing them from a little dude that can move around, so you can get better angles. That also means you can jump up on these platforms, but by jumping up, you might be able to get a better angle on something that's higher, but if it moves down and touches you, you die.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually they had levels where, there's holes in the floor, and so maybe you need to jump over to get a better thing, but if you fucking fall, you start the level over too.
Oh, gosh.
It's pretty challenging. It's really fun. It was like $5. And I think it was, I believe it was cross-buy, so you get PS4 and PS5. Each one took me about an hour and a half. If you like Puzzle Bobble, it's not bad.
Okay, I'm into it.
We got the Pigeon P. That is, of course, the same game again as like the Chick C and the Pig D and all those other. You just hold fucking R1. Then we got Can You Escape on the PS5, and that's just like a little. No, you only have to get through like level 2.5. That is on the PS4. You have to beat the whole game, and it looks maddening. On this one, you just have to get 2.5. That's one of those like, here, I'll explain. I'll put it. I'll paint you a picture, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. You're a red square. No, you're a black square, and you can't touch anything red, and all you can do is jump.
Okay.
One of those types of games. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dog shit. Then I fucking played Dark Cloud. Fuck you.
Yeah. Good game.
Needed to wet the whistle after that with Dragon Break Classic and Taco Run. Dragon Break Classic was just on PS5, and Taco Run was on PS4 and PS5. I do think I finally hit the I need to stop playing the games from this break series, because they are $7 a piece, and it's just like, I'm not enjoying this anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like even though those are easy games, like it's just not worth the money anymore. A game that I played over the course of a week, basically I would play Dark Cloud at night, and I would play this at lunch, between lunch breaks. It was a hidden shape game called Hidden Shapes, Animals and Lovely Cats. It's not like a find the hit, like an I Spy thing. What it is it's all the puzzles are lines, and they're all done by squares on a grid, and you have to rotate them to make a picture. It was just a dumb, fun little thing to play while I was like having lunch or watching something at lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just a puzzle. That's pretty good. I'm going to skip a game because it's the one I want to talk about a lot. Then you'll notice it's been over a week in here, and I haven't brought up our friends at Breakthrough Christian Gaming Arcade,
Oh no.
they missed the Sunday.
Whoa, really?
Sunday after Easter, they didn't put out a game. They did put out a game after that, and I did get the platinum in rock, paper, scissors.
What a game.
Yeah, but they missed. No, the Lord didn't get his platinum that day. Next game, one of the worst, now officially the worst game I've ever played, is this game called Ultra Mission on the PS5. I got it for free because I had originally played it on the Vita. It was so when they announced the end of the Vita store that like you can buy things, but we're not gonna put anything on it. This shitty little game called Ultra Mission came out, and it said we're the last Vita game. So they even made their platinum as like, congratulations, Vita. We're so proud to be the last game on the system. Reason that's funny is two reasons. Number one, a week later, Each Days of Soft and Play Asia put out some limited edition Vita game, so it's not the last one. And number two, it's great that this was the last game for the Vita because it is the most dog shit game I've played in my entire life. It is it's like a little level-based shooter, but the controls suck, and the wall, if you touch the wall, you die.
Oh.
It controls like absolute dog shit on the Vita, but it was able to get through it. On this one, for some reason, because it's on the PS5, everything moves at 2 times speed, including yourself. So sometimes you'll try to inch forward a little bit, and you'll run into a wall and kill yourself.
That sounds like a frame rate issue.
It's maddening. I hate it. It's the worst game I've ever played. I did stick through it. Like, I've played it for about 20 minutes and realized this sucks and deleted it. I was like, fuck this, I don't want to do it. And then later that day I was like, fuck, I gotta do it. So I sat down for like an hour and did it. It fucking sucks. I cannot recommend it to anyone. I don't care if you're as sick, your sickness is deep like mine. Don't play this game. Next game I played this over the course of 2 nights. My UDraw tablet came in. So I did get the platinum in Marvel Superhero Squad Comic Combat. This game is a fucking nightmare also, because what it is like, it's like a little simplified version of Ultimate Alliance.
Okay.
Where you get 3 guys, but you don't control them. What you do is that you use the little UDraw tablet.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically just a tablet dependent. What you do is you touch things, and then they'll go and attack it. The problem with that is sometimes they just don't do what you tell them to.
So it's like playing any of those I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but the Zelda DS games. Have you played those?
Yes, those are great. You're stupid.
Yep.
So those don't control you don't control Zelda. You don't control Link with the fucking tablet in those. You control Link like normal, and then you can just use the
Really? I thought you had to like use the stylus for almost everything in that. Or at least in, was it Phantom Hourglass?
Phantom Hourglass is a good game, man, and you don't do that, and shut up. No, what's worse is that, like, there are trophies for, like, hey, go through this room without ever getting hit by this laser.
Oh,
and
God.
Sometimes you'll, like, okay, stand over here, and the people will just not, they just won't. They'll just look at you like, nah, fuck that. And they'll just stand there and get hit by the laser.
That sucks.
The other 2 games for the UDraw will be a lot, like, one of them is Pictionary, but the way that they have Pictionary set up, it's on an honor system. Because the idea is that you only have one UDraw tablet and you're playing with a bunch of people in a room. So I haven't done it yet. It takes about 8 hours because you have to play 50 games of Pictionary. But all it is that you just, what I'll do is I'll play like a game or 2 a day for like, whatever. But how it works is they'll say, Team 1, don't look at the screen. And then they'll put up, please draw an elephant. And then you draw an elephant. And then it's, did they guess it right? Press A for yes. So you just lie to the game and like, yeah, they got it.
The rules.
Yeah, no, that was right. The other game for the UDraw tablet is the one that came with it. It was the packing game, and it's called UDraw Studio Instant Artist. I'll never be able to get the platinum for that, unfortunately, because there is one trophy for exporting one of your drawings to their servers, which are down. I think I'll probably still play it because you can get all the other trophies in about 2 hours. And true, I won't be able to get the platinum, but that is like 40 trophies and a bunch of points. Right. There's no reason not to get it because, when it comes down to it, I do like being the completionist of getting, the 100%. But if I can't get it, but I can get a bunch of trophies, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, that's
like that. Something like if I had not finished Ultra Mission, knowing that I could, that would bother me, even though that game's dog shit. It was like, I could get that platinum. If I play UDraw and just have some fun drawing, some pictures for an hour, and then I get a bunch of trophies, and sure, I can't get the platinum, but, I got what I could out of it, I won't be mad.
That's fair. I feel that. Boost that gamer
really-
score.
What?
You got to boost that gamer score.
Not gamer score. PSN trophy level. Get it fucking right. Last two games before I talk about the game I want to talk about. There was a game called Katana, which is like a little puzzle game where you're a dog, or you can just put in a code to skip all the levels and get the platinum in about 6 minutes.
Perfect.
And then a game called Neon Lore, which is a walking simulator where all the trophies are tied to. You just walk around this shitty Unity made cyberpunk city, and you walk up to people and they tell you stories, and there's a trophy for talking to each person. So someone just has a video of here's the fastest route to talk to everybody. You don't even have to read them. And then the other platinum I got is one that I talked about last time. I'm excited for this game. And now I'm here to tell you that it's not that good.
Oh, no.
Which is the Sweeney Todd management simulator game, Ravenous Devils.
Oh, yeah, that came out, didn't it?
It came out. It's $5.
Okay, that is a rough start.
Not cross-buy, so if I wanted to do this again on PS5, which I might one day, I would have to pay another $5. But the basic premise is it's straight up like they're not even sly about it. The beginning of the game is a married couple coming into town being like, "Oh, we need to be on the run because we're bad guys. Oh, let's buy I bought this house from this guy who just died named Mr. T." Mr. Sweeney T.
Oh,
Get
okay.
it? And
See, my brain immediately went to like Pity the Fool.
no, Mr. Todd.
Could you imagine if Mr. T was in this fucking
There's
game?
even a trophy in this game called Mr. T would be. Oh no, there's a trophy called House of Horrors for buying all the upgrades, and it's get all the upgrades. Mr. T would be proud.
Oh, okay.
But it's Sweeney Todd. This game is Sweeney Todd. The game. It's you can beat the whole thing in about 4 or 5. I beat it over the course of a day. Like I played a little bit, then I went out and did some chores and came back and played it a little bit. But I think right now the fastest time to platinum it is 8 hours and 35 minutes. I'm the second fastest in the world at 8 hours and 37 minutes, and that's with a 3-hour break in the middle. So you can get this game a lot faster.
Yeah.
The basic premise of this game is that you are managing a building with 4 floors. There are 2 characters. The wife only works on floors 1 and 2, and the husband only works on floors 3 and 4. And it's basically Sweeney Todd, but instead of a barber, he's a tailor. The idea is that the tailor shop has people come in, he murders them, he throws them down the chute, she turns them into one of 3 types of meat to make dishes to sell on the 2nd floor, which is or I guess the basement is where she makes them, and the 1st floor is the kitchen, or the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just your basic this definitely should have been a mobile game.
Yeah.
Because it's basically just tapping on things. It was a little finicky in some parts with a controller. It would have been a lot easier with either a mouse or tapping, but it's not that complicated. It's basically you're just juggling, if that makes sense, because you can switch between the characters at will. And whenever somebody comes in, they want to either buy something off the rack or they're going to get murdered. And then the bottom floor, they're either buying something off the pie rack, or when you upgrade, they're sitting at the restaurant and taking orders.
Oh,
and you have a time limit. I think it's like 25 or 30 days. Like every round is a day. And there's a story about how like somebody knows what you're doing and they want you to murder some people. But the thing is, all of the story elements are they just happen. They're cutscenes, and they're just added to give the game a story. You don't ever interact with the story. You just keep doing what you're doing. So it's not great. The basic like premise of what you're doing as the guy is that you have 2 rooms to your tailor shop, and eventually you get the floor above it. You can upgrade to make a greenhouse to grow like potatoes and tomatoes and onions to send down to her to the kitchen for more recipes, right? And so you're either clicking on a person standing in your personal fitting room to murder them. And then when you click on them, you have to either click to bring the body up to the top to compost it, or send it down the chute, to have her turn it into meat. And then you got to click on the fabric that he rips off them, then click on the fabric and take it over to the sewing machine, and then take the thing from the sewing machine and put it on one of your mannequins outside so people can automatically buy it. So it's just juggling. At the same time, you're the lady who the lady has to grab the bodies, put them in the mince pie machine, and then eventually either that or the sausage maker or the table to cook them, to chop them into steaks. Then she's got to take the meat and put it on the pan with the other ingredients and then put that pan in the oven. And eventually you can upgrade to 3 pans and 3 ovens. And then, so it's, you want to keep I think they're called expositors. They're like little pie, like if you go into like a donut shop, how they'll just be like things with donuts on them and you can grab one, but not really. It's like that. It's like you want to keep that stock for the customers. And so it's just cooking things that you have the ingredients for, and different things, depending on what ingredients, get you more money, and keeping that stocked. And then if you upgrade to have tables, it's when somebody comes in, you got to go up there and take their order, then cook what they want, and then bring it back in time. Eventually, you can hire an assistant, so you never even have to leave the first floor. You can use a little dolly system to just send it up, so you don't have to be going up and down. And at the end of every, I think it's 3 or 4 minutes, you get money, and it's like, hey, your reputation goes up. I don't know what the reputation is for.
Yeah,
they keep saying I keep as long as you. It's like cook serve delicious, where it's like if you help someone while their bar is green, then you get good service. You help them when the bar is yellow, you get mixed service, and if they walk out without anything, they get bad service. And that, I guess, means more people come in. I don't know. It was really simple to not fail, so I never.
It really does sound like you said like a mobile game, but it sounds like all the components that would be in a mobile game for it to be like, oh, here's like this leaderboard that you're constantly growing and going up on,
but it just aren't there. No. Well, but you wouldn't want to do that anyway, because the upgrades that you think, when I think of this, the reason I was excited is I like things like this because I like upgrades tiers, I like research tiers, I like the part of the RTS where you build the base and build the science things. I don't like where then you have to take the guys and go fight. Right. That's why I like Civilization 6, because it's just I have the platinum in Civilization 6. It's a very good game. You just build your thing and you don't worry about anything else. Because in Civ 6, it's you can fight people, but I never do that. I always try to win off science or industry or whatever, because I don't like fighting. Mm-hmm. And I thought that's what this was going to be, and it's not, because the upgrades aren't anything special. It's the first thing you can upgrade is you can put out more pies, or you can put out more clothes, or you can get more meat from a body, or get more pieces of cloth, the thing to make them goes faster. Then you can get a table, you can get a second table, you can get a third table, you can get a fourth table, you can put flowers so that their bars degrade not as fast. You can get a jug of gin so that if someone's bar gets way too low, you can serve them gin and it refills, but you can only do that once per customer. Then it's oh, but now you can upgrade the fucking greenhouse to have it starts with tomatoes, and you get potatoes and onions and eggs, and you've got to use the thing. And it's just okay, this is fine. It never really does it. It never progresses to anything else than what you started with, other than it's well, there's just more stuff to juggle. So it's okay, now you only get 3 bodies a day if you do it right, which means you only get 3 types of meat. And it's well, everybody today is ordering mincemeat, and so if I don't have enough mincemeat stocked up, and it takes forever, and then all of a sudden I need more steaks, it's just juggling for the sake of juggling. That being said, it's $5 and you can beat the game in a couple hours, and the platinum is not that hard. None of the things are missable, because like I said, the game is on I thought things were missable. People are oh, it must be missable, because the game has a story where it's well, you have till day 25 or whatever. And I had gotten all but 2 of the trophies, and I was shit, I'm going to have to start over. But then when the story ended, I just went, well, now you can just play endlessly forever for no reason. I was oh, great. And then I just did whatever I needed to get the last 2 trophies I needed. Right. Didn't pay attention, failed on purpose, and just did what I needed to until I got them. And I was it's fine.
Yeah.
I would give this game a solid 2.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'd give it a bronze. It's not that special. But like I said, there's still a PS5 version. If I was ever bored and just had a couple hours and I wanted to watch a movie and play something in the background, I didn't have anything else to play, I would buy this and do it again. It's nothing that I would say you have to play it. Mm-hmm. If you're not into trophies, I would never pick this game up. There are so many better games in this genre to go play.
Right. I would fully agree with you, because I was interested when you were talking about it.
What do you mean fully agree? You can't agree with me. You didn't play it.
Well, no. I was interested when you were talking about it at like before it came out, and now that you've explained since playing it, I'm now on the other side of like, I'm probably not going to check this out.
It seemed like a really cool premise when they showed it, but the problem is what they showed was it.
Yeah,
like
that's so unfortunate. Like
when they said it's like you can have a bakery and a tailor and then more upgrades, and it's like, no, that's it. It's a bakery and a tailor. The upgrades are just upgrades to those, and it's just like it never got better.
I feel like we're on the that edge of like there's going to be someone who does it soon, and it's going to be the game for like the summer. Whenever that summer happens, there's going to be a time where management simulators are the hot shit for a good minute.
It'll be Stardew Valley forever.
Until that, it'll be Stardew until the whatever that next one is, the witch like Harry Potter one that he's working on. Yeah, the dude that made Stardew Valley. Yeah, they're making a new game that's like you're like going to a witch school or something like that.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'll play that.
There isn't a lot of like news about it, but they've talked about it like loosely here and there. I think it's going to be another one of those projects where it takes like 10 years to make, and then it'll come out and everyone will be like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest game!" Like,
if you want a management simulator to play right now, and you're not into Stardew, like it's a little too much, the game that I would recommend is called Graveyard Keeper.
I've heard of that.
Very fun game.
Yeah,
there's some DLC. I never went back and played. There's like 2 DLC packs, but it was basically the same as like the same kind of premise as a Stardew, where you have a farm but you also are taking care of like the local graveyard. So you have to like pick up bodies, embalm them, and turn them. But then they also added a free DLC before, like the DLC with trophies, where you could like turn them into zombies and automate your farm. There's a dungeon like in Stardew. There's a whole quest line. And unlike Stardew, where it's like on a year cycle, this is on a 6-day cycle. Every day has a special person that shows up. So it's like on day 1, it's church day. On day 2, it's merchant day. On day 3, it's dungeon day. And so there's always there's these 6 NPCs that you're doing quests for that they only show up on that day. It's a good game. I would suggest that.
I think I've seen somebody stream it before. I might have to check that out. It sounds like something my wife would love to play.
I'm sorry?
My wife.
There you go. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. And
hell yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a really good RPG city building game that we need to talk about.
Oh, we're gonna play ActRaiser?
Yeah, you know what? When that ActRaiser remake comes out,
I don't.
You gotta play it.
Absolutely not, because they're gonna have a trophy for the end of that game, which is a boss rush mode, and it's gonna suck. Fine, let's talk about Dark Cloud. I don't give a shit about Dark Cloud.
You didn't enjoy any of it?
No. Okay. Before I dump on it, why don't you explain the game, explain the story? The story, I'm doing quotation marks, and like you be nice about it for a little. It's useless and boring, and it doesn't fucking matter.
It's cute. It's very small.
Unskippable cutscenes.
That
takes. I was talking about this with you the other night.
Yeah,
this game does. For months, you have complained about good games about it takes the game out of your hands.
Oh yeah, we talked about this. Okay,
does that constantly, but we'll get to that.
No. Let's talk about that real quick.
No, because people don't know the game.
Okay.
This show has listen. As someone who likes rules, this show has a format, and the format is simple. We explain the game first before we shit on it.
Yeah. So
what is Dark Cloud?
In the story of Dark Cloud, you start when you start the game up, this kind of Nazi inspired, I guess is the best way I can explain it.
No.
He's that Japanese like what is the word for it? What am I looking for? Because it's
imperialist.
Yes, it's
the idea of okay. So they explain that there's a West nation and an East nation. And the East nation wants to declare war on the West, and they don't know how. And they think, oh, I got a great idea. Let's let loose an evil dark genie.
Yeah, from like 400 years ago. He lets loose the genie. The genie immediately jumps out into the world and just starts fucking everything up. As it looks like meteors are like DBZ blast or like blasting into these cities, what happens is like this fairy king.
The fairy king. That's his name. Atalama, the fairy king.
He actually does like a Louis Soix from Final Fantasy 14 where he just is like, oh no, whoop whoop, and then everyone just kind of disappears. And he puts them in this kind of stasis. He puts everything in like every house and every piece of a house, because you have to rebuild these houses and the people that would live in these villages into like these little pods called Atla, and he spreads them across the world.
They're gashapons.
Yeah, they're little gashapons. Yeah,
and he scatters them into 6 fucking dungeons.
Yeah, and he then blesses you like as the like soul motherfucker who lives, because you know, you're like a meteor is coming down and you run and you like save your mom or something like that, or like a girl. And then he's like, oh, that guy's the hero. And he pulls you out and he's like, hey, I'm going to give you this special glove.
Would you name your guy?
I named him Burezu, but everyone else on my team was named like Fart and Dookie and all that stuff.
So I'll give this game 1 point. I love when you can name characters because I love to name dumb things. I usually like to name them after like movie characters ever. I did name, of course, my main guy, Morbius.
Oh God!
So it was the story of Morbius. And his
please tell me every character was named Morbius.
No, so I go by the logic of when I look at a new character in an RPG like this, it's the first thing that comes to my mind movie wise. So it's like eventually there's a cast of we'll get into it, but there's a cast of 6 characters. I'll just go really quick. In each dungeon you get a new person. The first one is a cat girl, so of course I named her Josie after Josie and the Pussycats.
Okay.
The next guy is some big guy with a hammer. What is the first thing you think of as hammer? That's right. The comedian Gallagher. The next one was a genie. I couldn't think of a genie, but genie witch. That's right. Sabrina the teenage witch. I named her Sabrina.
Okay.
The next guy was a desert Egyptian warrior, so I named him Imhotep after the mummy from the Mummy.
You should have named her Shantae because she looks like Shantae.
I've never played a Shantae game, so I didn't think about it. The first thing that came to my mind was Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And then the last guy is an inventor on the moon, so of course I named him
Goku.
Moon Knight.
Oh, okay, cool. I like it.
I do. So it's like going back to my favorite when I played Final Fantasy VII, I named it. I put myself in the mindset. So the first time I ever played Final Fantasy was in either 2017 or 2018 for played it the full way through. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I played it when I was a kid. I played it as a kid when I was at my friend's house, but only like for a couple hours. You know what I mean? Yeah. My first time, I platinumed it on PS4 because I had the PS4, the PS4 Up-Res, the one that went to Steam.
Mm-hmm.
They had that on PS4, and so I got the platinum. And so I put myself in the mindset of if it was 1998, what would I name these people? So
I would have named everyone after Sonic characters.
Cloud's name was Joe Rogan.
Oh no.
Aerith's name was Melissa Joan Hart. Barrett's name was Jet Jackson from the famous Jet Jackson.
Okay.
What else did I can't remember. I know I named Vincent Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. That's really good, actually.
I can't remember. Oh man, I can't remember anybody else.
I was going to say if they ever, I'm going to say whenever, because it absolutely one day will be a live action movie or series or something. For Final Fantasy VII, please get Nick Cage to be fucking Vincent.
Oh fuck, I can't remember. Awesome. Oh, I named, since Aerith dies, I named her Brittany Murphy. And I don't remember what I named Red 13, and I don't know what I remembered Luffy. Or Yuffie, sorry.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, Luffy's in this game?
No, I don't remember what I named, and I don't know what I named Kate Sith. I can't remember those 3 names, but it would have been other things from movies in the 90s.
You would have named them Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy.
Nope.
Shadow.
Nope.
That's what I would have. But this time I'll say mine whenever we get through the dungeons and stuff. Because once you get the glove, you end up, he brings you back to your village, and he's like, "Hey."
By the way, you said you're the only one left. That's not true because like the mayor's just chilling out there too.
There are some people definitely still alive, but yeah, the mayor's just chilling.
But yeah, the Fairy King basically says the premise is you got to go into this dungeon and find the little Gashapon orbs, and get to and bring them back out and basically do like a SimCity rebuild the city,
right? And so that's what you do, and like as soon as and
you're right. Hey, that's what you do. That's all you do.
That's all you do. That's the game.
Hours. The game never progresses.
There are some side quests.
No, well, the game never progresses. The game never really adds anything new. It's just that's it, and that's all you do for 30 hours. And that's my main problem with this game. It was boring and repetitive as fuck.
But here's the thing, and this is why I'm gonna sound a little bit more forgiving about this game.
No,
This is a game from 2000.
I don't give a shit.
I do. There's context.
No
because
context.
You could say that every game that was on the NES is shit just because it's like
but there are games on the NES that hold up better than this fucking game. Mega Man 2 holds up to this game a trillion times better. Super Mario World is still one of
those
the best
are like
games
completely
ever
different genres. This game is mostly like a mystery dungeon type of game. One where you're just going through
before this game that hold up much better either. This game
but those aren't they're not mystery dungeon games. This is a have you played many mystery dungeons?
Persona.
Well, yeah, okay. That one is
trillion times better.
Hey, I love Persona 1. That game fucking slaps.
You don't do anything in this game. So not only that, so here's the thing. So it's that you go into these dungeons. This first one has like 18 floors, and the premise is that you have to find a MacGuffin on one of the bad guys to get. It's like the key to the next round. Right. You can also find these fucking orbs to you got to find all the orbs on a level, and you can find like a key. I'm sorry, you can find a key to a random door, not the main door, but like a side door. You can also find a map, and you can find a compass. It's called a magical stone. Yeah. And other than that, it's just a bunch of other stuff. And it's just running around, pressing X, because that's all you do.
That's the only attack button,
Just X, and hit a guy. Maybe he'll drop something. If not, you move on. They also included a way to like not allow you to explore and have fun because there's a thirst meter.
Well,
no, not every fucking floor has one of those. So you can't be like, it's fine.
I know, but it is mostly fine because most floors have like a spring or a well that you can just go stand in.
No, they don't. You're a liar. No, they don't.
No. Hang on.
It's random.
It's random, and in most of mine did.
Well, great. Good for you.
Because I was going to say, a lot of this game is going to come down to RNG if you're going to enjoy it, because there are a lot of elements about this, and most like any mystery dungeon game where it's procedurally generated, which again, amazing for 2000.
Absolutely not. You're giving this game too much credit. You're being nice to it. This game is dog shit.
No, it's totally a fine time. Like, but that's the thing is, I was going through the beginning of the game can be a little bit of a grind because you don't have a lot of resources to start, and money is one of the most important things. So you really have to grind out those first few dungeons to get money so that you can buy the supplies that you need. Now, granted.
Did you not cheat like I did?
I didn't. I played this game just all the. I did because one, I was like still in that beginning phase when you messaged me and you're like, "Hey, there's a cheat," and I think I even saw it. Like I didn't know. I guess I didn't know it was as much of a cheat or an exploit. Whenever I was looking at the trophy list, I saw they were like, "Oh, here's a really easy way to get like this specific thing," and that was exactly what you were talking about. Where it's like you can get the best weapon in the first couple hours.
By dungeon
floor
2 or 3, I had by dungeon 2 or 3, I had the best weapon in the game for the main guy maxed out. So it's like I could kill anything in one hit. And maybe that made it even more boring, but also like I couldn't imagine the other side of that, where if I had to grind, I would have been in more hell, because that would have just made the game longer.
The only part of it that would have, because I did it that way, and I guess that might have been one way I might have had more fun with it, is because I just played it the way they intended you to play it. The only time that the weapon degradation system got really annoying would be so this is I guess we should explain that weapons in this game have health.
You
don't level up. Yeah, your weapons will level up, and your weapons have health. So every time you hit something or use a spell or shoot like a bow or something or shoot your gun, it will degrade in health, and if it hits 0, the weapon will just flat out break and be gone forever. So it relies on you using weapon powder that will constantly repair it as soon as it gets low. The biggest problem with that is that you can't put the fucking weapon powder on your quick bar, which like you have 3 items that you can equip, much like in a Zelda game, to your square button, and you use the D-pad to cycle through them. And you can't put it there, so you actually have to go to the menu and go to repair, which is so stupid.
There's so much fucking stop the game, go into the menu, do something, come back to the.
There's a lot more for you because you didn't hit select and just switch outliers that way.
I didn't know that because you have to. So hold on. As you get new people, the dungeons will add things like, oh, there's a break in the floor that only the little cat girl can jump over, so you need to switch to her to jump over it and then switch back because only your main guy can pick up the gashapons.
Yeah. So
also, if one of your people dies and you don't have a very specific item, you're immediately thrown out of the floor and they take half your money.
Yeah, you have to. There are 2 items that can keep you going in this game. One's like it's called stand-in powder, and then the other one's revival powder. You can actually equip the revival powder to your quick slot, so if you die, it just brings you back to life immediately. And then the step-in powder is like if you do die and not have anything that bounces you real quick, you can then swap characters, but if you just flat out die, don't have that, you are kicked out of the dungeon and lose half your money. So, which I never really had a problem with because the stand-in powder was like dirt cheap, so I always kept at least 3 on them, and like as soon as I knew that I was getting out of that resource,
unless you're on a floor where it won't allow you to switch.
A limited floor, right? Yeah, but
yeah, that's the other thing. Sometimes randomly there's some set floors where it's like you can only use like your new person, but there's also random floors. Like there's a random floor where you get thirsty faster, and if that one doesn't have one of those wells,
then that's where it gets annoying. Yeah,
or there'll be one where it's like, hey, every time you swing your sword, you get negative experience, and you're not allowed to switch weapons.
Yeah.
So if you start that with your good weapon, you're like, well, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. The one thing about this game is it wants you. What's really neat about it is that it wants you to use these different survival systems, and I think that they're like employed in a really interesting way. The problem is that it was a game that came out in 2000, and so they couldn't really expound upon it in a way that made it meaningful or I would say fun in some ways. I guess it wouldn't be fun in some ways. I would love to see their take on it now, especially with all the survival genre games that have come out since then. I would really love to see like a modern take of this game, because whenever I would run into a limited floor and wouldn't be able to switch out enemies, I would immediately go to my bag and be like, okay, well, what are my resources that I have here? Do I have enough items that I could throw at enemies and just have an easy time to get through it? Yes, no, okay. Or it would be, hey, I don't have stand-in powder or revival powder right now. So I need to actually back out here and use the escape powder and go buy some stuff so that I can actually just get through this floor and make sure that I get through it. And usually I was pretty well stocked, so I knew, you know, in a dungeon, I would typically run into about 2 limited floors where I'd be stuck with a specific character. And sometimes I got really lucky, because anytime it was like Ruby that I got sent in, which I named her Tootie, because Ruby Tootie.
That's the genie for anyone.
Yeah. I powered her up like super much. Like she was my strong hitter for the game, which was apparently a really good thing for those last couple bosses. But yeah, so like anytime I got stuck with her, I was totally cool.
I did it with so there, out of the 6 people, there's 3 with melee weapons and 3 with ranged weapons, and the melee weapons are your main dude, the hammer guy from the 2nd stage, and the Egyptian dude from the 4th stage. And then the cat girl, the moon guy, and the genie are all ranged. She fires a crossbow or a slingshot. The genie fires like magic spells, and the fucking moon guy has a gun.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I got him, I just, okay.
Did you use him?
Oh yeah, I got his ultimate weapon and just immediately because there's so skipping quickly to trophies. There's a trophy for maxing out your cash meter at 65,535 gold, which if you're not cheating would be fucking impossible. I mean, it's not. You just have to grind for like gems on the back. There's a thing called back floors. Every dungeon has what's called a back floor, which is if you can find another item that is specific to the dungeon, you can go on every floor can have what's called a back floor, which is the same exact dungeon you're on, but it's in reverse, like the map is reversed, and it's just full of harder enemies and more treasure. Yeah. So you'd have to do that. What I did instead is what's called the broken dagger glitch, which if you are going to try getting the trophies from this game, I highly suggest. What you do is that you first have to build back up the store. Oh fuck! So we didn't talk about how you build the we should talk about.
Yeah, we should swerve back to the game.
Swerve back. No, because I want to talk about this.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why everything you said doesn't matter.
No.
So because I'll save that. But basically, if you max out the money and you do this to get your best weapon, all it becomes is me rolling around with 30 revive powders and max out everything, and it's just walking up, hitting a guy, walking up, hitting a guy, walking up, hitting a guy. And it becomes monotonous, which you can say, well, you took the fun out of it. And I would extend to you that I did this. I played about half of the first dungeon before I found this, and it wasn't fun to begin with.
I will say that first dungeon, especially those first few floors before you start rebuilding the town and have like the shop, it is a little bit grindy and it's a little rough because I was at that point where I was like, man, this is kind of, it's not as fun as, or I'm not having as much fun as I thought I was going to have, but that was because I didn't have it to the shop yet. And I didn't realize that you could just go to the mayor and he'll give you everything you need. Yeah, so I just made it harder for myself.
Until you get the shop, the mayor will give you one antidote, drink one of each type of powder except revive, and a bread and a water, and he'll just you can never have more than one. So like if you use one, you talk to him again, he'll just give you what you're missing. Yeah. But what happens is when you go to a floor and you find your little gashapons and you find the little MacGuffin that lets you get to the next floor, it'll say, would you like to continue or would you like to temporarily leave the dungeon? I every time would temporarily leave the dungeon because you can then save. So
see, I didn't do that.
My loop, I was trying to get this done as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Because I had already decided I wasn't having fun and I wasn't going to do it. Right. So my loop was always do a level, leave, save, go into the menu there's a rebuild your city menu where it places things like SimCity where you find buildings and then those buildings all have slots for like a door, a lamp, and then maybe somebody lives here. And some of those slots will be question marks because you have to find the people first, then go out of that mode, walk up to them, get an unskippable cutscene where they introduce themselves, then talk to them, ask where they want their house to be placed and what they want in it, place those things in, and then if you complete it, you get an unskippable cutscene that you have to watch to continue the story, and then you get like maybe an item, but it doesn't matter because these unskippable cutscenes are fucking boring and long, and they're the type of unskippable cutscene where it's all text, and it won't auto-complete the text, so you have to sit there and press X. So I'm even more bored. Then save again in case I fuck something up, then go back into the dungeon, do another level, and rinse and repeat for 106 times. Because I think when I was done, that's how many, every time you save, it tells you how many times you'd been in a dungeon. Mm-hmm. And I had done 106 different floors.
Okay. See,
fuck that.
For me, what I did was I would just stock myself up on supplies, go into the dungeon, and I would go as far as I could into the dungeon until I just ran out of supplies or I got to the checkpoint part, which usually in a dungeon about halfway through, it will stop you and be like, hey, you need another character or you need this item to keep moving on. Go back to the city, rebuild the city, do all the little side quests that you would need to do, and then come back to this point, and then you can continue on through the dungeon. So I would just go the whole length of the dungeon and explore it, and then finally go back out and build the city all at once, which made things a little bit nicer because then as soon as I pretty much at that point when you would back out, you would have enough to build like 3 of the buildings. So I'd build one building, drop it, and then immediately drop my character right there. Walk into the building, talk it, finish out, and then I didn't have to like go around and find like, oh yeah, which ones did I talk to again? Whatnot, blah 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 blah. I would just get it done with pretty easy. So I found a pretty good rhythm pretty much like halfway through that first dungeon, and from then on, especially after I got that store built and was like, okay, this is how you play the game. Like this is the game loop. It's, you know, go into the dungeon, do as much as you can, get as much stuff as you can, build up your weapon, exit the dungeon, build the city, talk to everyone, buy your supplies, repeat the loop until you get
sure
to
sounds like yours is the same as mine, just a little longer, but it's basically it comes down to that the game never adds anything new, and we're just doing the same thing ad nauseum over and over again for how long? When you were done, how many hours did you put on your clock?
I think it was 25.
I think the only reason that mine was a little bit longer is because of some of there's one bullshit. Like most of the trophies in this game are actually not too, like this is going to be the first game where my score for fun is lower than my score for trophies. Right. Because for trophies, it's fine. There was one missable trophy and there's one fucking annoying trophy, but like, yeah, it's just boring. And like, there is a story there, but I just don't fucking care.
Yeah. Like so the story,
it's like, the story is this: there's a war between the East and the West, and then the genie comes out, and then the genie does bad things, and the Fairy King says, you got to go in here. So then you go in the first dungeon, you have to get to the end where the beast has been turned mad by the fairy. And so, or by the genie.
Yeah.
So you fight him, and then he goes, oh, you knocked me out of it. Thanks. Now you got to go and talk to the Great Deku Tree. It's not the Great Deku Tree, but you're not the Great Deku Tree. So then you go to the second area, and you meet the little guy with the fucking hammer, and the hammer guy goes, you're not a warrior. I'm a warrior. Why don't you go talk to the Great Deku Tree? And the Great Deku Tree says, I can't talk. I need water. So you got to go into the next dungeon, which is the Wise Forest Owl area, which is the only time they changed the mechanic of everything, because on that dungeon, instead of just finding the one thing that opens the door, you got to find 3 different things, and it's random which one opens the door.
Which
that was, at least I'll give them credit. At least they tried something different.
It was different.
And then they immediately went, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
So you have to go and find the little fucking gashapons to find river tokens to connect the river from one side of the map to the other, and then the fucking the Deku Tree goes, oh, you did it. Oh, you're gonna need to go to the moon. But how do you get to the moon? You need the moon orb. So why don't you go? So now you go to the next city, which is a port city on the bay, and so the next area is you need to go find the moon orb, but it was stolen by pirates, so you need to go into this shipwreck, and so you're going down into a shipwreck and you're fighting water monsters while you're rebuilding the city, and then you get to the end and they're like, oh yeah, no, we got it, but the moon orb was here, but you need the sun and moon orb together, so now you got to go to the desert city, and so you go to the desert city and you meet the desert man, and he goes, I don't know, they put it in the crypt keepers area over here. It's a fucking pyramid. So you go into the pyramid and you fight to the end because none of this shit matters, and they get to the end and they go, all right, you got these things, now you need to put them inside the sun giant that's on the moon. So then you go, the second to last dungeon is on the moon. You go to the moon, you meet the moon people, and the moon people say you need to go to the moon sea. They changed something else here, which is on this one, the dungeons, it's like the normal dungeon, but there's no walls. So fucking dudes can shoot you from rooms that you can't get to.
Yeah.
There's no walls between them anymore. So you'll be able to see a guy, but they'll be like, oh, you need to cross a bridge, but you didn't get the crank. So you got to go find the crank in a treasure chest somewhere else in the dungeon. But the dudes can see you and they shoot you. And it's fucking annoying, but you're getting all those, and you get instead of building that town, because that town's fine, the gashapons have all these things to make a big giant Voltron. So you make the Voltron, you put the orbs in it, and you take that orb, and you fly to the Dark Castle. And at the Dark Castle, you meet the Dark Genie, and the Dark Genie is like, you can't stop me, and I'm going to kill the guy who set me free from the beginning, because fuck him, I don't give a shit about the East versus West war. I'm a bad genie man, and I'm going to kill. And then you meet the guy that originally set him free 400 years ago through time travel. And the guy says, you got to go to the gallery of time and you got to find my memories. And so you do another fucking dungeon. This one's twice as long as all the other ones. The other ones have been anywhere from 15 to 18 floors long. This one's 26 floors long. And at the end of it, there's a floor where you have to play as each other person that you've played. And some of those people suck shit. Anybody with range that isn't you is unplayable. Even if I fucking made their weapons the most strongest weapons you could, it doesn't matter because all of the mechanics of how they swing their sword is different and shitty, and there's so much wind-up mechanic versus these enemies that don't give you a fucking chance to strike. And so
I didn't have a hard time through that last dungeon. That was pretty easy.
I found that even when I was playing my main guy, there were enemies in this game that did not give you a chance to strike. It had a lock-on. The lock-on sucked.
Because you had to switch your characters to the one that would actually like hit them easier.
No, because like if I want to lock on to a guy, but he's not directly in front of me, the game will just put my back to him and let me hit him in the back. Let me finish the story. Okay, so now you go through this dungeon where you're getting his memories, and at the end of the memories, he goes, I remember what happened. They tried to kill my wife, and now I got to go, but you got to stop me in the past and kill the genie. And then you get the genie fight. The genie fight kind of sucks, and then you kill the genie, and the game's over. Nothing matters, and for all you know, I could have made all this up, and you're not. And I bet
there's
you're not even
so many fun stories in this. Like because when you so first off,
there's nothing fun. Let's talk about the combat. Go ahead.
No, because when you skip over so much because there are some really fun little like character stories in this game, especially when you get to the forest area.
You mean all the unskippable cutscenes when you build people's houses that I did not pay attention to because I did not.
Well, see, you missed it all because there's like the fun story about like
required to watch it.
The forest boy, like he's all upset and he's angry because his father, who is a great warrior who saved his village, he went off and died, and the reason why was because he was dying from an illness and he didn't want the people around him to see that, like, you know, this great warrior was going to be beaten by basically cancer, you know. And he went off he brought this party of like warriors with them to go fight this like snake in the woods, this giant, you know, serpent, and his illness caught up with him and he couldn't, you know, he wasn't going to be able to kill it, and he was like, get out of here, you guys. I'm dying anyways, so I want to die like a warrior, so let me just have this. And they're like, oh my gosh. So they leave, and the boy's upset because he's like, my father abandoned me. Fuck that guy, he's such an asshole. Like, why wouldn't he was supposed to be this great warrior, and everyone talks about how he's such a great warrior, and he just leaves like that. And it's like, no, yeah, he left because he was gonna die anyways, and he wanted to die like with a hero's death, so that you would have something, you know, you wouldn't have this like weak father that just like died in front of you, you know, you wouldn't have a hard time seeing him die that way. And it was like cool because then you have that moment where his like ghost father shows up and he's like, son, I'm so sorry that things played out the way they did, but you need to be a great warrior. There's going to be a guy that comes with like a green hat and he's going to have this glove and you're going to save the world and you need to help him along the way. And I was like, man, this is cool. And that was a great like moment in the game. And then like
shit. Boring.
No, and then even in like the desert area where Ungaga, he's party member you get like in that area, he's another like he's the, you know, great warrior of his tribe or whatever. And then when all the meteors hit and it erased everyone, he thought everyone died and he was the last one left, and you get to reunite him with his love, and it's fun because they're like three sisters, and they're like, why do you like her so much? Well, I'm prettier and I'm better. And the reason why is because he got stung by a scorpion and he was like gonna die from the poison, and like the one older sister showed up and she was like, I'm gonna get you help, and he was like, no, I'm gonna die, just please don't. And she's like, I'll see you later, I'm gonna go get help. She leaves, and then the like middle sister shows up and she's like, oh my god, are you okay? And he's like, I'm dying, I got stung by a scorpion. And she's like, hang on, I got you, and sucks the venom out of him. And it's just like, oh shit, and that's why he fell in love with her, because she actually stayed with him.
You're describing a visual novel. You should just play a visual novel.
No, this kind of stuff happens in JRPGs, and it's totally good. And then in that same village, there's like a boy who has like a giant like stone robot machine where you get the sun sphere from him, or like the sun, you get the sun sword from him. And it's like kind of sad because once you build his house back together, the robot dude's like, I don't feel so good, I think I'm gonna die now. And the kid's like, no. And I was like, oh man, like this, like I wasn't expecting like that sad turn just to quickly happen, and I was kind of bummed because I was like, oh man, like he looks like a jolly good dude, like you're just gonna cap him right here? All right, rest in peace, dude. And then he dies, which is the funniest scene because he's got like really thick eyebrows, right? And he's just got these tiny little pupil eyes, and when he dies, his eyebrows just slowly move over his eyes, and I just lost my shit. It was so funny, but like it was sad in the same moment because I felt that sadness from it. So there are definitely like fun character stories in this game. Like you can, and for the most part, I was mashing X through everything, and I could still read the text fine because all the text is just like a line long.
I was mashing X2 to get through it, and I was reading it, and I just did not give a fuck.
Oh man,
who fucking cares about some dumb little bitch kid and his dumb dad in the fucking forest? I'm just trying to get through this game.
Yeah, who cares about this stupid girl who goes on this bombing mission with you? She twists her fucking ankle in the thing, and you drag her out, and instead they take that small little section where you shouldn't care about Jesse and made a 30-hour game called Final Fantasy VII Remake about it. It's stupid, but they did it.
Yeah, you're right, and I still don't like that either. So I don't know what point you're trying to make. You're right.
It's because those things are actually fun. That's why I was being sarcastic.
I don't give a fuck about the story of this game. I think this all came to basically you put a gun against my head and said, Ryan, you're gonna play this shit game from 2000 that sucks.
No, because it totally didn't suck. Like
it sucked. You can't tell me. No, that's subjective. You're not allowed to say this game doesn't suck. I think it sucks. You can say you like it, but this game sucks shit.
No, I don't think it does. Okay, yeah. For you, it sucks. Guys, anyone at home, give this game a shot. It's only $15.
Don't.
Totally fun game.
That was the worst thing. Don't give this game a shot. Wait a month and a half because it was on PS Now. I should have just signed up for PS Now.
Oh, was it?
But yeah, so when I bought the game, it was like $15.
Oh, but then it would have been worse because you would have to stream it.
No, because it's a PS2 to PS4 game. I think you can download it.
Oh, really?
You only stream the PS3 games, but I did not do that because I don't know what's going on. Okay, so
what's going on with that?
I don't know what's going on. I know that it's either next month or July is when they're going to do the whole thing where they're including PS Now, which I'm going to get because there are a bunch of. It sucks. There's a lot of games coming off of the network right now, which I bet are because of streaming rights. But like, remember how I was telling you? I really wanted to play those 2 Penny Arcade games, even though they didn't have platinums. Those are on PS Now. So, like, there's a bunch of... Everyone's complaining that the games that are on PS Now are shitty little games. But for me, as someone who's going for trophies, that's perfect. This game's on PS Now. You can pay $10 a month. Or, you get if you've never done it before, and I've done this before, so I couldn't do it, you can get, like, a 7-day free trial. But I didn't know if I signed up what that was going to do because I'd be signing up monthly, and then they're going to do this thing where it's like yearly. So I just didn't want to do it. So I spent $15. I could have, if we had waited, we could have done this episode for free.
For free. But that's the thing is, I still don't understand the system that they're trying to employ. Like I remember them talking about it, and they put out like a big long thing that explained everything. And I read that, and I reread it, and I reread it, and I still don't understand what I'm getting from it. Right? No, don't explain it because
I will tell you. I'll tell you right now if you just stop talking.
Okay.
There's 3 tiers. One of them is just straight PS Plus as it is right now.
Right.
One of them is PS Plus with PS Now, and it's just the PS3 and PS4 games. And one of them, the ultimate tier that I'm going to get because a news article has come out that they're trying to patent a way to put trophies in PS1 games and PS2 games, is that you get the PS3, the PS4, and you get the PS1, the PS2, and the PSP games that they're putting on there with the streaming rights. So it's like, do you want half the catalog or all the catalog? And it's $120. Right now, it's like $60 a year for PS Plus. It'll be double that, 120, which sure, I'll do that. And if that means that I could go back and maybe get like the fucking platinum in Medieval, the original one, or like if they put, I'm trying to think of PS1 game. Like imagine if they put trophy support. Imagine if they put trophy support into Metal Gear Solid. You know, it's like shit like that. Or like I would like even love it more if they put dumb things on there. Like I want to get the platinum for Intelligent Cube. You know what I mean?
That would be cool.
That'd be cool. So I don't know what they're doing with that. We should have done this here. Should you spend $15 on this game? I'm going to say right now,
yes.
Don't. You should. And wait to see what this PS Now thing is.
I honestly, I really enjoyed my time with this game.
I bet you can probably get this game cheaper on PS2 used.
Maybe. I don't know. I have not looked up the prices on this game at all.
There's nothing like added. The game plays exactly like it did on PS2. It's just straight emulated. So I don't know. I want to talk about trophies now. Are we good? Or I don't want to cut you off too much. Like, as much as I hate this game, I really do want to get to your
No,
time to
I
shine,
genuinely think there are some really fun little character story. You know, it's just typical JRPG stuff. Like, if you're into JRPGs and you want like this little, you know, the city building, it's not like the most, you know,
the city building
robust thing in the world, but it's
the best part about the city building is that they have, you can pull up anything down where it is, but you'll talk to people. Like in that first town, the only thing that's set is the mayor's house when you get there, and you get everything else, and you'll get this house and you'll get a person in it, and she's like, don't put me near the mayor's house.
Yeah.
So you have to put her on the other side, and then you'll get a guy that says, you got to put me next to that other lady. Okay, so now I got to switch some things around. It's like, I want to be close to the cave because I like to fight. Well, I don't want to be near those guys. Well, I like smelling the bread of these people. I like facing east. So it's like, it is a cool little quick puzzle.
Right.
Nothing's that hard.
No, not at all. And you don't even have to pay attention to any of that if you don't want to. You could just make it look the way you want it.
Well, there was a trophy for doing it once.
There is a trophy.
And then there is a trophy for doing it once. And then at that point, I was just like, fuck it, I'll do it for everything because why not?
Right.
Because it's not that hard.
Right. It's just typical JRPG stuff. I would highly suggest it. I'm looking at price charting right now. It looks like a complete in box copy for the PS2 is about $15, $15 to $20 depending on your location.
I say if you're gonna play, this is what I would say. If you're not playing this for trophies, which I'll get into a second, it is a very easy game for trophies, and we'll go over that in a second. But if you don't give a shit about trophies, if you're gonna play this game and you're really that nostalgic, might as well fucking play it on PS2.
Yeah, and not only that, Dark Cloud 2 is a thing, and I that one's pretty unanimously known as like the better game, but yeah, it is much harder to get the platinum in that game. But
I'm not doing the same fucking thing for 100 hours. I will quit this podcast. All right, trophy time.
Yeah, go for it.
There are 28 trophies that's included, so 27 trophies in a platinum. Almost all of them are just for playing you'll get them just playing the game.
Right.
There's only, I would say, 4 trophies, maybe 5 trophies that like you actually have to work on. So the biggest thing is literally just playing the game. Most of these are just like kill an enemy with a thrown item for the first time, find all the different people, put a tree down. It's nothing special. It's just play the game. The things that you want to be on the lookout for, though, that are working from the beginning are maxing out an attribute for a weapon without an attachment. So how the upgrade system for the weapons works is that they have an ABS, which is like it's XP. I don't remember what it stands for. It's like absorption power or something
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. Whenever you get that bar to the top, you can upgrade your weapon and +1 or +2 it. Plus, you can put these gems, or you can find like magic
little attachments.
Little attachments that when you upgrade, they get sucked in and they give you a permanent bonus towards the thing. Because once your weapon reaches a certain threshold, you can evolve it into, every weapon has like its own evolution chart into other weapons. And so the idea is that you're supposed to be working on a weapon, keeping it from breaking, because if it breaks, it disappears forever. There's no way to get back. And then you're just fucked. And most of the weapons are random.
Which I had a super powered up sun sword going into that last dungeon.
Yeah.
It broke.
Did you not have an auto revive?
I did, but it didn't. But the thing is, you have to put it on one of your slots.
I always had one of my slots, one of those, just in case.
I never
used it. It never got used, but I always had it just in case.
Yeah, I just never did it, and because I got pretty good about keeping track of that. But the problem is there are some enemies that like when you hit it, it takes like 7 fucking points out, and even it's just like, oh my god.
Hey, even if you have an upgraded one with like the top that takes less damage, then it's still just like, if you hit something, it takes like 9
endurance
points.
Doesn't matter in this game.
There's what's even worse is that, okay, so other than your own dude, every single side person has like the cat lady, like I said, there's this gap that you need to cross, or there'll be these doors with a big button that the hammer guy has to hit. The Egyptian warrior dude, it'll be a door with black mist, and he does have a spin attack. And so you have to do that, but it degrades your fucking weapon.
Yeah, it's so
I had
stupid.
one of his weapons almost break because I never used them. It was just trying to get through doors. I was like, this fucking sucks.
He was my MVP for the final boss, though.
And I just used main dude and moon gun Moon gun. Main guy was doing like 6,000 damage a hit, so it was no big deal. And then Moon gun took care of that. But anyway, so what it is that when you upgrade a weapon, you have these there's like attack, endurance, speed, and magic. But then there's another menu of 6 different types of
elements.
And then there's another window with 10 different types of like damage against plants, damage against animals. And so to upgrade a weapon to build it up to the next one, it won't tell you what you need. It'll just say, oh, you need more magic. Well, how much? Oh, we're not going to tell you that. You just need more magic. And then you'll think you'll get those and like, great, okay. Not realizing, oh, not only that, but now I need to upgrade it again with these different gems for, more holy attack, more plant-based attack.
There is an NPC in the yellow drops, the moon area, that when you talk to him, he'll give you more straightforward tips on how to do that.
Yeah, but that's the last
that area. Is yeah, so the last area. So it's much like Pokemon, where if you're trying to strengthen up a Pokemon, you have to like go find the NPC at the very end of the game that's like, oh, you need to like pump up the speed this way, and it's like, why couldn't you just be earlier in the game?
So what I did to get this from the beginning, and I'm going to teach you right now if you're going to play this game for trophies, is what's called the Broken Dagger glitch. The Broken Dagger glitch works as so. After you've built up the store in the first area, it's called the Odd Gaffer shop, and you get him to shop. You can go into his little shop, and you can buy things. What you want to do is you equip. Everybody has a starter weapon that if it breaks, you can at least always have this shitty little weapon. For the main guy, it's a little dagger. You have your main dagger attached, and you go into a shop, and you hover over one of the ice crystals, and if you can very quickly press right and square at the same time, and even if you do it perfectly, sometimes it just won't work, you'll grab, and in your attachment bar, you'll get this broken dagger. Putting that broken dagger on something maxes all of its attributes and everything. Then you can upgrade the weapon, and it'll keep those things, and then you can build it up. And what you do is you keep grabbing that dagger and upgrading your weapon through either getting a lot of XP, or there is a powder that you can randomly find called Power Up Powder that's like a rare candy. And so with that, like I said, by the second or third dungeon, I had Cone, where I had Morbius's ultimate Chronicle sword, and I had it maxed to the best damage it can do. And then I did that again for Moon Guy. But what also is helpful is that if you keep grabbing those daggers, you can attach them to weapons and sell them back. A normal weapon will sell for only 400 gold. A weapon with one of those things attached sells for 16,000 gold.
Oh, fuck.
Now, the thing is, the more you do this, the more the game glitches itself. You can eventually, the reason I would save every time I try this is sometimes you'll grab it and you'll grab nothing, but it'll take up you'll grab like basically the equivalent of a missing no, and it'll just take up a permanent slot in your your inventory. Now, I didn't know that, and the first time I did it, I accidentally grabbed 2 of those before I got one of the things, and so for the entire game, I had 2
minus 2 slots.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. I don't know. Going into the last boss, I needed almost every slot in my inventory.
All your pockets, like you can get pockets at the end of that game.
Yeah.
And I had like going into that fight, I had like 10 full power ups. I had like 10 full what's it called? Water ups, and I had like 10 powders for my weapon, and like 30 revival powders that you can put on your bar. And so it was just like, yeah, sure, I'll die, but then I'll just come back and you can't fucking kill me. And you can stack those things. So you can always have more than one on your bar.
Yeah, I had a hard every boss was pretty easy in this game. There was very easy ways to stun lock almost every single boss in the game.
There was some annoyance in, I think it was the
first boss is kind of rough too.
The first boss was super fun. I one shot the first boss.
Well, you had a super powered sword. I didn't.
Well, that's your own damn fault. I want to say it was the third boss, the Ice Queen. There was this part where you have to like have fire on your sword to hit her shield away. Mm-hmm. But then the thing is, only the fucking genie lady can actually damage her. And so I didn't know that. So I'm just like, all right, her shield away. And it's like, no effect, no effect, no effect, no effect. I'm like, what the fuck? And I looked it up. I was like, yeah, what it is you have to hit her shield away. And then you have to immediately switch over to genie girl, and you can get maybe 1 or 2 hits in before she puts her shield back up.
Yeah.
So it was just annoying of, I'll take her shield down, I'll get 1 or 2 hits in. I'll take her shield down, I'll get 1 or... And it was just the annoyance of, because I did not know, so you can switch at any time to one of your allies. Apparently, if you just press select, it'll bring up a hot swap bar.
Yep.
The game never fucking told me that.
It does. There's a little book.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a little book that they don't tell you.
They give it to you at the very beginning of the game, and they say, "Hey, read this," and it'll tell you how to do everything in the game. And I was like, "Okay, I'll do that." And then I did
took that book and I threw it away. Actually, I think I put it. There's like a bank. I put the book in the bank. It's like, fuck this book. And so every time I would have to press triangle, go down to the allies menu, switch over to the person, press back, get out of the allies menu, get out of the thing, and come back. So it was always 5 like this game.
I can't imagine playing that whole game doing it.
That's the other thing is, like, when we were talking about this game takes it out of your hands, it's every time you open up a treasure chest, it's 5 seconds of opening the treasure chest, looking at the item, getting the explanation of the item every time, which is unskippable, and then they takes 2 or 3 seconds before you're allowed to hit X, and then you get out.
They
every
did that
time you kill it,
The Legend of Zelda too, and everyone sucks that game off.
I don't. Okay, Mr.
Like an ocarina of time.
Shut up. I don't remember what game it is, but what game was it? You were talking about how you hate in Saints Row that at the end of a quest they stop to say quest completed, and you're like, this game sucks because of that. This is 3 times as bad, and you're like, it's fine.
I don't know, because the thing is that
you have bias because this game is a Japanese RPG from 2000. You're giving this game too much credit because of your love of Japan and Japanese culture.
There's a difference in GTA style games, like where you're going around a city and it just displays all the results around you while you can still move around and do things, versus a Zelda-like game where you open a chest and it takes literally 2 seconds because you're hitting X anyways, and you just grab the item and you keep moving.
Yeah, and this game sucks because of that, because it is
in Saints Row, there were 4 menu screens that you would have to pound through really quick. It was in this game, it's just you hit the box, it opens up, it says, "Hey, you got this," and you hit X and you just keep going.
No, because it does the animation, it does it, you get out, and then I have to press. I need some water. Animation. I need to press triangle, go down, pick up the water.
No, you don't even do that though. You just go to the well and you just stand in it.
Stop.
Because that's all legit. I did. I'm dead serious. I rarely drink water in that game. I would always just find a well before I drink.
You don't get to invalidate my annoyance with this game because it didn't happen to you. Every time that I would need to fill up on water, I would have to press triangle, go down to items, go over to the thing. And you can't just use it. You have to pick it up and then hit over until you get to your character. And if you need to put it on another character because they're running out of water, then you have to hit R1 to cycle through. This game is so menu heavy.
It is very menu heavy, but
it takes the control out of your hands, and it's boring.
I think you made it harder for yourself in a lot of those slots.
No, listen, the allies thing, sure. I didn't know about that, but
no, because again, even with the water, every time I went into a dungeon, there were some times.
I'm sorry, sir. Are you saying that it's my fault that the game didn't give me those wells?
It could be. I mean, it is an RNG thing, but
now how's that my fault?
No, because here's the thing.
Did the game do it or did I do it? Answer the question.
I mean, yeah, it could be the game, but I mean, for me,
what do you mean it could be?
Because I don't know. Because as far as I know, because you didn't look at the manual that they hand you in the game to say, "Hey, look, this is going to teach you everything." You could have just not looked for them, I guess.
I read that. I read that manual. I just didn't see anything about pressing select,
right? Because
I didn't know how to do other things. You're talking about how, okay, so on some random floors, there will be a well that if you stand in it, you refill your health and your...
and that was always my first priority whenever I'd get into a new floor is find one of those as fast as you can.
Find one of those as fast as I can. There are several floors where they do not have them because it's random.
I would say...
That is a problem with the game.
For me...
You can't say, well, you got them, so I didn't, and that makes it okay.
I mean...
I didn't get them as much as you did.
I guess we both would have to, equally or, cancel each other out here, because the thing is most of the floors for me always had 1 or 2, and I never had a problem with drink. Very, very rarely would I have to drink. Like, I only kept 3 waters on me at a time because of that reason.
Hold on. But you're skipping the part where I said it didn't happen to me, and you're hand waving and saying, well, it did for me, so it's not a valid argument.
No,
it's a valid argument. If the game fucked me, it's a valid argument.
Yeah, it is a valid argument, but I'm saying the game didn't fuck me, so is that not a valid argument?
The fact that it can fuck someone is all that matters.
Right. But I mean, any game can have RNG problems.
One of the other problems with this game is that there's no way to boost your own defense except for finding randomly you can find this food, and that if you find these 6 specific foods, you can feed them to each character, and it'll up their defense stat. Right. And without that, you get hit in 1 hit. I found a bunch of the things for the main guy, but like throughout all the rest of it is completely random. Mm-hmm. And so for like the cat lady, I found 2 the whole game. For wow. For the fucking and I opened every treasure chest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because whenever you complete like a house or something, there will be like, you'll get like 3 chests or something like that for each little thing. And then when you complete, even like sometimes when you complete so much of the city, like random chests will spawn in the city. You really do have to kind of like look around for them sometimes, but
they're just right there. But honestly, most of the time, more often than not, I would get a wind gem or a fire gem or a plus. Like I would get gems and enchantments, but I wouldn't
get. Where the game fucked me is I didn't get weapons for most of the game. Every time I would have a big chest, it was always a king mimic. It was only until the pyramid where I actually started to get like a pretty good ratio of like, I would have maybe 2 weapon chests for every king mimic instead of literally like 25 king mimics per 1 weapon that I got.
I never found a genie for the weapon the entire game.
Really?
I bought one. Because there's one you can buy in the 3rd town, but like I opened every major chest
and never saw a genie.
I never saw a genie weapon. I found a bunch of different swords. I got the same slingshot for the cat lady like 4 times. I got like 2 hammers for Goro. I got no weapons for the genie. I got 1 weapon for what's his name? Ungaga, and I never got a weapon for the moon guy. I had to buy his weapon. I had to buy a weapon from a store to up, because there's a weapon you can buy to upgrade it to the best one. For him, also, I have a feel like I think I looked it up, and I don't think you can actually find any for him. His weapons are only from the store because he's so late in the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I ended up buying one of his weapons from the store, but I ended up pulling, like in the final dungeon, I did get a weapon for him, but it was just the weapon that I bought from the store. So.
Yeah, I think I looked that one up because I was looking what his ultimate weapon was, and it was just like, there are only 2 weapons you can find, but they're also available in the store, so don't worry about it. But like, this game is a little too dependent on RNG for
it is
big
really
things like your fucking defense. Like my defense, that's the reason those 5 floors at the last one were so hard, is like, yeah, sure, I have the thing that I can put on a weapon to max it out, but I still die in 1 hit. And these guys will do these fucking things where they like roar up and I can't actually hit through their hitbox to get to them.
For me, I found like a pretty balanced defense boost items throughout the game, because all of my guys were close to like 55 defense, except for Dungo, whatever the guy from the forest kid, like I don't remember his name. Goro, that's it. I called him Dungo because Goro Dungo. There we go. I didn't find like anything for him, so he had really low defense, but I never used him through the whole game,
except for that floor, except for that
1 floor. But what I did was I just went to the item store and I just bought a bunch of bombs. So I found a bunch of the donuts for the main guy, because those I think are story based. They give you those, but all the rest of them are random. I found like maybe 2 fish cakes for the cat lady. I found like maybe 3 or 4 for that guy. I found 1 fruit parfait, which is the one for the genie, and then for the last 2, the moon guy and the Ungaga, I never found 1. Oh my gosh, yeah, I found pretty good balance of them, but in that last boss fight against the dark genie, most of his attacks are like his hand attacks are all single hit, like they'll kill you no matter what. And then in the 3rd phase, and then the second phase, the laser is pretty much a one shot no matter what. And then in the third phase, everything is pretty much two shotting. I think that's pretty much what it is. Like even in the guide that I looked at, it was just like, it doesn't matter what you do, everything will two shot you. And I was like,
thankfully at that point, because I had done the achievement or trophy to get max money, so I just filled up with revivers. Like, yeah, sure, it kills me, I immediately get back up. Trophies.
Mm-hmm.
So what was annoying about that is that you need to build up a weapon. You need to synth sphere weapon, which is get a weapon to +5 and then basically turn it into a gem.
Yeah.
And you need to get a weapon to +10. And so it was just those weren't hard, they were just annoying. They were easier because I had cheated.
Yeah.
There is one missable trophy for there is a fetch quest in this game. I always call it the Bigoron sword because that's the first thing I think of when I think of one of these. Mm-hmm. It's a trading game where throughout all the dungeons or all the cities, in the first city you can finish this guy's house and you have to talk to him at the exact right time, because for some reason, this is another one where it takes power out of your hands for no fucking reason. There's a clock in this game. When you're on the overworld, there's a morning, afternoon, dusk, and night, and like it adds nothing.
It really doesn't add anything.
But because nothing, it doesn't change anything in the dungeons, and all it does is like there's some people that only talk in specific parts of the day. It adds nothing. But when the clock goes from like morning to night, it does the fucking Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask, like 24 hours left thing of stops, makes you look at the sun, says what time it is, says what day it is, even though that doesn't matter, and puts it back. Whole thing only takes like 6 or 8 seconds. It's just, why does it need to be there? You have to agree with me that is fucking annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying, but
thank you.
I don't think does the time still progress when you're in the dungeon?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I only went through like 25 days and it was annoying, but I don't know. I guess I was watching like shows or something or a podcast while that was happening. So it is annoying though. It is super annoying that it does take that's the one part where I'll say, yeah, it is annoying when it takes control out of your hands.
So anyway, to get the first part of this trading quest, you have to finish this guy's Claude's house in the first place, and you have to talk to him in the morning. If you talk to him at any other time, he'll give you the wrong item. If you don't talk to him at the right time, and they give you a second chance. They are very generous that if you fuck that up, there's another guy in the second area who will give it to you. He'll say, do you want this candy? But if you fuck that one up, then you fuck yourself out of the quest forever. Whatever. You get this first item, you get candy. Then in the second area, you build up this guy's house and you trade him candy for an ointment leaf. Then in the third place, you trade the ointment leaf for some foundation cream, because there's a guy in the fifth area that wants to be pretty, so you give him the foundation cream and he gives you a clay doll. And then on the moon, you trade the clay doll to a moon person for the sun. You put the sun on a weapon, you get that trophy.
I was so close to getting that trophy by just like doing the little side quests, because I was doing everything, and then the foundation, I got the foundation and then I couldn't find who to give it to.
Foundation, you gave it to Jibubu in Muskalaka, that's the guy who does his whole quest is, I don't understand, I'm pretty, why does everyone think that I'm nothing compared to Ungaga?
Fuck, you're right, ugly. It would have been that guy. God damn it. Yeah,
the hard part about that is you can only talk to him after you've completed his house. You can only give it to him if he's in his house, and he is random when he's in his house.
Yeah. So
you really have to sit there and keep loading it and unloading it. It was very stupid.
I wonder if I can still get that. Because I have the foundation.
You can just go back. You can just go back. It doesn't matter. Like, you're to beat the game. Why would you go back? There's a trophy for killing somebody with a thrown item. That's super simple. There's an item for there are these big there are treasure chests all around, but they're big treasure chests. And if you find a big treasure chest, it'll be one of three things. It'll be a big giant mimic. There'll be a genie in it who will let you either pick a big item or a small item. Big items are always weapons. Small items are usually gems or things that are worth money. Or it'll be a trapped one. And the trapped ones will say either you need to use a treasure key, which throughout that entire game, I only ever found one treasure chest key. Did you ever even find a treasure chest key?
I think I found about 5.
I found one.
That's
the whole game.
But then again, you don't really need it because you just blow up the thing and just choose poison every time because you don't want it to be poison.
That's what I was going to say, is that you can try to guess which of the 3 traps are on it. And if you guess right, it opens up. But the thing is, if you're wrong, it happens. But then you can just guess again and now you know the answer.
But the thing was,
poison, explosion, and curse. Explosion does like not a little
It just
a little
does
bit of damage.
pretty good damage.
Curse, if you get cursed, there are a couple like debuffs in this game. There's goo where you walk slower.
Yeah.
There's curse where you're not allowed to change your weapon, which if you're like me and already have the best weapon, who matters? But then there's poison, which poison just will kill you. It's the worst thing in the game. If you get poisoned, it sucks. So many things do poison. There is thankfully an item you can put on your bar called an anti-poison talisman, which I just put on the whole time.
Yep.
And it's, if you get hit with a poison thing, it'll just negate it until it eventually breaks. My 3 go-to items that I had up there were Drant's Feather, which is an item where you can hold square to walk faster, because without that, if you didn't have
you gotta have that on your bar.
It's you walk so fucking slow. I had the anti-poison, and then I had either a revive powder or a auto repair powder.
I pretty much did anti-goo, Drant's Feather, and then an anti-poison.
You know, I got gooed once the whole game, and I
got gooed so many fucking times. It was so stupid.
Anyway, so there's a trophy for getting that right, which is, that it's like, it's technically missable, but there's no way you can miss it. You just find one, you pick poison. If it's poison, you won't get poison, and it'll open up. If it's anything else, you get hit with it, but who fucking cares? You didn't get poison, and then you just pick that one.
Curse doesn't matter, and you just heal yourself. You find a water.
You find the water, or you like me and you hope to find the water. I mean, I don't want to sound like I never saw them. I just did not see them. I think as off. I didn't get one on every floor.
I didn't have it every floor, but I would say if there were 10 floors, probably 8 of them I had them.
And if I had 10 floors, I'd say 3 or 4 of them had it.
Ugh, that's rough.
There's a trophy for putting an item in your bank. That's super fucking simple. There is an item for using a stand-in powder, which is if you die and you have allies that are alive, you can use a stand-in powder to, instead of losing half your money and getting out, you just sub in one of your dudes, so you have to die on purpose, whatever. There's one for putting all the trees in Northern Village. That's easy. There is one for specifically to the cat lady. Her I guess also Ruby had it, but I never saw it. But they have weapons that have an attribute called steal, which is randomly when you hit somebody with your weapon, you'll take an item from them. So what you have to do is just find one of those weapons, and then you just switch to that person and use it over and over and over again until you eventually get it.
Yeah, I never had that. So
there is one for doing all of the georama analysis, which is, that's when we were talking before, when somebody says like, I want to live by the fish pond, I don't want to live by the mayor. There's one for doing it correctly, and then there's another trophy for doing the entire first town correctly. Because by doing it the first town correctly, you'll get like a special sword attack for the main guy, which is you can hold the sword button and he'll do a big slash. The only problem is that the wind up on it takes forever, and by that time the enemy has moved away. I don't think I landed it once. And then the most now I want to talk about, there's one for each boss. There's one for fighting the big boss at the end of the game, and then there's one for like getting everybody. But the trophy that was the reason to hate this trophy list is there's a fishing mini game.
Yes, that I completely didn't do.
It's not a good fishing mini game. It's pretty simple. It's when you go to the fishing, there'll be 4, or every town has a fishing hole, and there'll be a sign that says, would you like to fish? You go in, and 4 or 5 fish shadows will be there. You'll see them, and they'll be of varying sizes. You put a bait on your line, you press X to put it out, one of them will come up, it'll do the normal bobber thing, and then it'll come down, and that's when you kick it out. There's a trophy for catching a fish over 100 centimeters, and there's a trophy for catching a Baron. How do you say this? Baron Garian, which is the rarest fish in the game. You can only catch that fucking fish in like one spot in the game, in one specific time in the game, with only one specific type of lure. And you know what? Hold on, really quick. Another reason I hated the menus in this game. Opening up every treasure chest to find the things to get out. You get a bunch of these fucking like worms and bugs, and there's no button to automatically throw that shit away. And it clogs your fucking thing. So it would be me sitting there having to pick up a grasshopper, put it in the trash can, pick up a grasshopper.
All of those sell for so much money. That's how I had money through the game, was because every time I got bait, I would just sell it because they all sold for like 200 to 300 gold.
Yeah, but by that point, I had already.
Yeah, you were probably good. Yeah. Look, if you're playing this game naturally, that's how you make money, everyone. Sell those.
You sell those. But anyway, so what it is you have to go to the Muskalaka fishing oasis, which is the desert place, at dusk. And you have to constantly load and reload until there's like a couple different sizes of fish shadow. And the biggest one is one of those, like, you'll know it when you see it. Like, you're wondering, like, oh, is that? No, you'll know when it's the biggest one.
Right.
The problem is that not every time is that one the right fish. What you have to do is you have to use, I think it was called like a minion or a gooey peat. There's a couple things where it's like, this thing will only eat potato cakes, which are those are worth $450 if you want to sell those.
Yeah. But
like, I found one, thankfully, you can't buy those. So you have to randomly find one. Thankfully, I found one of those in the first dungeon, and I just held on to it. And so I loaded and reloaded that fucking thing for close to 3 to 4 hours.
Oh my God.
And so it's like every maybe 45 minutes, they'd finally spawn one of those big ones, and then I throw it out, and it was the wrong one.
Ugh.
And so it was just me sitting there for 4 fucking hours thankfully talking to my friends, and there was just a lot of my friends hearing me go, fuck this. And then when I finally got the one, the problem is everything likes the potato cake. So if you try to fish with that, one of the other ones,
everyone's coming at it.
Yeah. So what you have to do is you have to wait till it gets to the side. And I finally did it, and I realized, I've never actually caught a fish yet. And thankfully, I will give it this: the game, like, if you mess up, the fish doesn't get away, like in Animal Crossing. He just stays there like an idiot. So thankfully, after a couple minutes of like figuring out how the game worked, I did get it. That took me 4 hours. Fuck that trophy.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
That trophy is the one that'll kill you getting the, like, everything else.
Everything else pretty easy. Yeah.
But that trophy sucks shit.
Okay, so speaking of trophies, then, what would you rate this game based on trophies?
Don't we have to rate it for fun first?
No, you go for trophies first, because I know what I'm going to give this. I want to hear what your scores are first.
Well, I'm going to say for fun.
Yes.
First. Okay, this game's getting the first 0.
No.
I give it an achievement. That's our 0. It's a 0. This game is not fun. This game has no redeeming qualities. This game is boring. This game is overly menu heavy. This game constantly is making me watch cutscenes I don't give a shit about. This is the worst game we've ever played. It's absolutely going to win the award at the end of the year for worst game we talked about on this podcast.
That will be Remember Me.
No, I'd rather play Remember. I'd rather have to re-platinum Remember Me 5 times over than play this one game again.
Oh my gosh.
I fucking hate this game. Trophy-wise, however, it's not bad. If you are looking for a pretty easy platinum, sure. Should you get the platinum in this game? If you like RPGs, go ahead. I'll give it a bronze, only because of if it wasn't for that fishing trophy, I'd probably say it's a silver. Because it's pretty brain dead. Like, it's hard to lose it, especially since you can cheat and get the best sword off the back. It's not bad, but because of that fucking that fishing minigame sucks so bad. So it's getting I don't even want to say achievement. I want to say it's getting a straight up 0 from me for fun. We're calling it a 0, and then it gets a bronze for trophies.
Oh man, I hard disagree. I genuinely had a great, like, outside of those first couple hours where I was just kind of hitting the head against the wall because it is a little bit harder to start, but once you find the rhythm of the game, it's really not that bad all the way through. I really enjoyed my time with this game. It was a fun time, like, capsule of a pretty much a launch title for the PS2. I would recommend this game if you like RPGs. I would maybe even say look into the second one, because it's going to have a lot of the same stuff and it probably plays a little bit better.
The second one. If you're going to play one of these and you're not a trophy person, just play the second one. It's longer and it's better made.
And it is kind of fun to revisit Level 5's first game. I give this game, based on fun, a silver. Because I thought it was a fun time all the way through. Like, the whole time I was playing it, no, because the whole time I was thinking about it, I was like, where would I put this? Like, I would kind of check in after every dungeon, and every time I was like, yeah, I'm still having fun. I'm really enjoying this. but I'm kind of like in the middle of the road because it's like it is a little samey, it is grindy, and I loved all the little story bits whenever they would give it to me. And again, there's some few and far between just because of the way I grinded through the dungeon and then would get rewarded with, a little bit of story morsels here and there after doing that. So I totally get that. But don't let the dark cloud of it being an old game, cloud your judgment on this. I totally think it's a fun time.
I think there are better PS1 and PS2 platinum, or not platinum, sorry. I think there are better PS1 and PS2 and even Super Nintendo RPGs that you can go to if you're looking for that. And you like, if you like mystery dungeons, play Persona.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
If you're looking to grind an RPG, go play Final Fantasy VII. Go play Final Fantasy IX. Go play Secret of Mana. Go play. I'm trying to think of something else that would.
But it's got like the city builder in it at the same time. It's a mix of two things.
It's not a very good city builder.
Yeah,
if you want a good city builder, play SimCity 2000.
That's sure, but it's a fun game. Okay, Check it out.
I'm okay with you giving it a silver. I really truly thought you were gonna be like, oh, this is a platinum. This is a
No. I'm realistic about this. Look, I'm dead serious. I think it's a good game. I do think it's a little dated.
For the person that gave Stranger of Paradise a perfect score.
That game so fucking good. Everyone should don't play Dark Cloud. Go play fucking Stranger of Paradise. That game fucking slaps.
I would suggest more people play Stranger of Paradise than Dark Cloud. But if you're gonna go play a game that we talked about this year, the absolute best is Alpha Protocol. You should go play that.
No.
Yes, that's the best one. This. For all the yelling we did at each other, this was a good episode.
Hey, I told you, I think this is our, we figured it out, I
truly did not think, I thought we were not going to have enough to talk about in this episode because I thought this game was so boring and useless and fucking just bottom of the barrel. But it turns out that when I get mad, I got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and I love that. This is, I think this is a good game for the both of us to just kind of note that, we got it. We can, we could do any game at this point. We did Dark Cloud.
If we can talk about Dark Cloud for an episode, we can talk about fucking anything.
Exactly. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Especially if you're still sticking around with us here. Hey, make sure to favorite, subscribe, hit that thing, the 5 stars on every whatever platform you're listening on right now. Go rate us. Tell us we're the best podcast ever.
Hey,
do all
fuck
that fun
you.
Stuff.
Really quick, fuck you. I listen to this podcast. I go back and listen to each episode so that I can make notes and see what to work on. I have a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
I'm going to say a phrase that was said last episode without me knowing it. I want you to realize where I'm getting mad. Are you ready?
Okay.
This podcast is sponsored by HelloFresh. This podcast is sponsored by shit. Chris is sponsored by HelloFresh. How fucking dare you?
I just
seen a dime.
I just got 2 other sponsorships in my email too these last 2 days.
Just for you or for the podcast?
For me, yeah, because it's all through my streaming stuff. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Not only that, I also got the ad incentive Twitch a beta alpha. I don't know what to call it, but I got selected to be a part of that too. So
congratulations. Also,
I don't want to do ads though.
At the beginning of this podcast, what?
Well, I don't want to do ads, but I'm doing sponsorships. It's the same thing.
If you heard, if at the beginning of this episode you heard this podcast is sponsored by anything, it's a lie.
Chris, you know what? This episode is going to be sponsored by
no, it's not.
Fresh. Please go sign up.
Pog
SE 5146.
Chris is sponsored by HelloFresh.
Free meals across.
Listen, I'm happy for Chris. Congratulations on your success, Chris. I really do mean that. Don't lie to people.
No.
Tell them that we are sponsored.
Here, we're sponsored. I'm peeling the veil back because I asked you before. I said, "Hey, would it be fine if I put this at the beginning of the episode?" You said that's totally
asked
fine.
Me, "Is it cool if I say I'm sponsored?" And I went, "Absolutely. I'm so proud of you."
I didn't. I said if I said that the next 2 episodes we would say just put it at the beginning of that.
Oh, I misunderstood. Yeah. I thought you were gonna.
If you don't want me to. I can totally not.
No. I think it would be funnier if at the beginning it said, "Hey, what's up? My name's Chris. I'm sponsored by blah, blah, blah." And Ryan isn't sponsored by shit because nobody cares about Ryan.
I'll do it. I'll do it for this week. So I'll just re-record it and do it that one.
No, I'm just
wait until I hit you guys with Star Trek Fleet Command, guys. If you sign up for Star Trek Fleet Command, like, it would be really, really cool because I would get. I mean, it's a fun game and you should totally play it.
Don't ruin your sponsorship deals over a joke, Chris.
I don't know how I'm getting it because, like,
hey, if you're getting it, you're getting it. I need to start streaming again.
You really should. It's fun.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe just came out, and I want to get the platinum on that. But one of the trophies is for playing the game for the entirety of a Tuesday, which means you have to leave the game running for 24 hours. From midnight to midnight.
I mean, you can do that, right?
But I thought it would be funny to just set up a stream where I leave the game running for 24 hours.
Oh, that would be awesome. You should really do that.
But it would just be a blank screen of a hallway because I wouldn't be playing it.
That would be even funnier, though.
I do want to stream that game, so I think, well, this will come out on Friday. Maybe look for my stream soon for Stanley Parable. That'd be good. Before we get out of here, we got any callers?
We do. But
is it just Tylon again?
It's not Tylon, but I have a caveat with this one. We're saving it for the next episode. There's a specific reason for it, and I cannot reveal it until the next episode.
Why?
Because it's a special surprise I'm going to hit you with next week.
Absolutely not.
2 weeks.
Read the email. Go ahead.
I can't.
That makes no sense.
Don't worry. It will make sense when you realize what number episode it will be.
It's going to be episode 23. Is it about Michael Jordan?
No, but what is the episode after that?
24?
Uh-huh.
No, this episode is 22.
Yes.
So the next episode is 23.
Yes, so I will talk about it in the 23rd episode because it relates to the 24th episode.
Because it's Jack Bauer? Or because you've already picked the game that I don't know about?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see on the next one.
Well, that was this episode of this bullshit. Are you happy with what you did to me, Chris?
I am, because I really enjoyed this game, and it's unfortunate that you didn't see it the same way.
You made me play trash.
You know what though?
Pile of trash.
I respect you for at least giving it a shot.
I gave it a shot. Now I'm going to make you play garbage.
No,
and I'm going to make you. No, this is the revenge. Welcome to the revenge.
This is the tit for tat arc.
This is the tit for tat. Here's what we're going to do. I'm breaking the rules.
Okay.
We're not doing an episode about a video game next time.
Okay.
We're doing an episode on a genre of video games.
Okay.
And they all suck.
Oh no. Well, hang on. Chris? You said Dark Cloud sucked, so maybe they're actually good.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's true. Chris, are you ready to... I want you to feel what I felt in this game, which was boring monotony played over and over again, where nothing really changes. And there's no better genre of video game that I can think of for that than the Lego series of video games. Between now and then, I'll let you pick. I've already platinumed like 9 different Lego games. I'm working on Lego Dimensions right now. I'll try to platinum that. And maybe I've got some other ones on the shelf. I'll see which ones I can get through. Between now and next episode, your challenge is to just platinum any one Lego game. I don't care which one, but you have to get a platinum in one of them.
Okay, I will try my best.
Well, next time it'll be me talking about the history of Lego games, how they're all the same, how the corporate Lego machine got out of fucking control, and you will get to talk about your experience. Have you ever played a Lego game?
Yeah, I've played a bunch. I actually I really like the series. For, like the first Star Wars ones, and then when I started realizing like they're kind of just boring, I stopped playing them. But they're nice, like little turn your brain off, kind of just smash things games. Kind of moves.
Now imagine for the platinum playing the whole game twice, and then having to do every single gold brick and every single mini kit and every single stud challenge and whatever other bullshit. So that's your penance for making me suffer through this shit. It can't be that one because that one doesn't have a platinum. You're looking at Lego Builder's Journey. I did say platinum.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I was like, oh man, that one looks easy.
No,
That's
Lego
fair.
Builder's Journey doesn't count. I said platinum.
Oh, I'll try and platinum.
There's a free like they gave out that if you have PS Plus, they did give out that Lego DC Supervillains for free a couple months ago, so you might have
looks
that.
Dumb. I think I want to play one of the Harry Potter games, but they have
on the PS4 they have the 1 through 4 and the 5 through 7. There's Lego Jurassic World, there's Lego Lord of the Rings, there's like Lego Batman's, there's Lego Avengers, there's like Bionicle shit, there's Harry Potter, there's
what? There's There's no way. There's fucking Bionicle on a fucking.
Isn't it? There's something called like Lego Oh no, it's Ninjago.
Ninjago, yeah.
Sorry, that's like the same shit. Anyway, pick one of those, and I'll try to get through as many as I can in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh wait, fuck. I've just screwed myself.
Oh yeah.
Because now I have to play a bunch of Lego games.
This is how it works.
Good.
See,
I'm
when you
always
start
good for like 1 or 2 Lego games. 1 Lego game a year is usually what I get to, maybe 2, but because they are so just long, they are so long and boring. No, we should hold on to this for next. We're talking too much. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say when you start a war, you always hurt yourself first.
It's a Pyrrhic victory, but if you suffer, then I'm happy with it. And at the end of this, you'll have what platinum trophy will this be for you? How many do you have right now?
1?
Didn't you get another one?
I don't think so. I am here on my PSN profiles. I could check, I guess. Wait,
you have 2.
I have 2? Where does it say 2?
Yeah,
oh, I do have 2. What's my second one? Oh, Stranger in Paradise. That's right. Yeah. I only have good platinums right now.
You have Marvel. You'll have Stranger in Paradise. Marvel. You'll have Spider-Man. You'll have Stranger in Paradise, and you'll have a Lego game. And we're just going on the trek to make you a trophy hunter. We're going to get that level up. We're going to get that plat up, and you're going to be just like me soon enough.
My goal is 10 by the end of the year.
I think that's a good goal. My goal is to maybe. It's funny. I went back and I listened to our resolution episode because we're getting through the year. How I said I wasn't going to play shitty games and I was only maybe trying to get 100 platinums this year. And I'm already 130 up for the year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a problem. But you know what's not a problem?
What?
This podcast. It's a great podcast. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Do me a favor, give us a 5-star review on whatever you're listening to, and go tell a friend who doesn't listen to the podcast to listen to this podcast. Because the more people listen to this podcast, the more dumb bullshit we can do. And then I can take that dumb bullshit and make my friend play shitty games. But then at the end of it, when they're like, oh, I played this game, and I go, well, I played this game. And at the end of it, you know what happened?
What?
I have more trophies than you. Wait, stop. That doesn't count. That didn't work grammatically. That happened. No, it doesn't work. The podcast isn't over. We're still going. We need a good, better ending for this.
Let me see. See if I can work something out.
Wait, I'm gonna sneeze.
No, you're not. Don't even try.
Fuck! Fuck! You did it again. All right. Fuck this podcast. I have more trophies than you. You really did. Well, I was about to sneeze, and then you said that, and it went away again.
That's fucking funny. Hey, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you'd like to send us questions, gaming memories, comments, or if you just want to know when the next episode's going to drop, then you can follow us on Twitter at MoreTrophiesPod. That's MoreTrophiesPod. That's More Trophies Pod. Also, you can email us at ihavemoretrophiesthanyou@gmail.com. It's just the name of the show, all one word, at gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow Ryan at Dr._Ryan on Twitter. You can also keep up to date with his Monday night Twitch streams office hours at twitch.tv/Dr._Ryan. That's Dr._RYAN. Dr._Ryan on both Twitch and Twitter. And follow Chris on Twitter at Burezu in Japan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I'm going to spell it out for you right now. That's BUREZUINJAPAN. It's all one word, Burezu in Japan on Twitter. And when they are streaming, you can check them out at twitch.tv/BlazeTK. That's BLAZE, the letter T, the letter K on Twitch. BlazeTK. Thank you again so much, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.